Chapter 7. How Sir Launcelot met with the damosel named Maledizan, and named her the damosel by Pensant. So then they took their horses and rode forth apace after Sir Launcelot. And within 2 miles they overtook him, and saluted him, and thanked him, and the damosel cried Sir Launcelot mercy of her evil deed and saying, For now I know the flower of all knighthood is departed even between Sir Tristram and you. For God knoweth, said the damosel, that I have sought you my lord, Sir Launcelot, and Sir Tristram long, and now I thank God I have met with you. And once at Camelot I met with Sir Tristram, and there he rescued this black shield with the white hand holding a naked sword that Sir Breuse Saunce Pite had taken from me. Now, fair damosel, said Sir Launcelot, who told you my name? Sir, said she, there came a damosel from a knight that ye fought withal at the bridge, and she told me your name was Sir Launcelot du Lake. Blame have she then, said Sir Launcelot, but her lord, Sir Neravens, hath told her. But, damosel, said Sir Launcelot, upon this covenant I will ride with you, so that ye will not rebuke this knight Sir La Cote Male Tail no more. For he is a good knight, and I doubt not he shall prove a noble knight, and for his sake and pity that he should not be destroyed I followed him to succor him in this great need. Ah, Jesu thank you, said the damosel, for now I will say unto you and to him both, I rebuked him never for no hate that I hated him, but for great love that I had to him. For ever I supposed that he had been too young and too tender to take upon him these adventures. And therefore by my will I would have driven him away for jealousy that I had of his life, for it may be no young knight's deed that shall achieve this adventure to the end. Pardieu, said Sir Launcelot, it is well said, and where ye are called the damosel maledicent I will call you the damosel by Pensant. And so they rode forth a great while until they came to the border of the country of Surlus, and there they found a fair village with a strong bridge like a fortress. And when Sir Launcelot and they were at the bridge there stert forth afore them of gentlemen and yeomen many, that said, Fair lords, ye may not pass this bridge and this fortress because of that black shield that I see one of you bear. And therefore there shall not pass but one of you at once. Therefore choose you which of you shall enter within this bridge first. Then Sir Launcelot proffered himself first to enter within this bridge. Sir, said La Cote Male Tail, I beseech you let me enter within this fortress, and if I may speed well I will send for you, and if it happen that I be slain, there it goeth. And if so be that I am a prisoner taken, then may ye rescue me. I am loath, said Sir Launcelot, to let you pass this passage. Sir, said La Cote Male Tail, I pray you let me put my body in this adventure. Now go your way, said Sir Launcelot, and Jesu be your speed. So he entered, and anon there met with him 2 brethren, the one hight Sir Plain de Force, and the other hight Sir Plain de Amours. And anon they met with Sir La Cote Male Tail. And first La Cote Male Tail smote down Plain de Force, and after he smote down Plain de Amours, and then they dressed them to their shields and swords, and bade La Cote Male Tail alight, and so he did. And there was dashing and foining with swords, and so they began to assail full hard La Cote Male Tail, and many great wounds they gave him upon his head, and upon his breast, and upon his shoulders. And as he might ever among he gave sad strokes again. And then the 2 brethren traced and traversed for to be of both hands of Sir La Cote Male Tail, but he by fine force and knightly prowess gat them afore him. And then when he felt himself so wounded, then he doubled his strokes, and gave them so many wounds that he felled them to the earth, and would have slain them had they not yielded them. And right so Sir La Cote Male Tail took the best horse that there was of them 3, and so rode forth his way to the other fortress and bridge. And there he met with the 3rd brother whose name was Sir Plenorius, a full noble knight, and there they jousted together, and either smote other down, horse and man, to the earth. And then they avoided their horses, and dressed their shields, and drew their swords, and gave many sad strokes, and one while the one knight was afore on the bridge, and another while the other. And thus they fought 2 hours and more, and never rested. And ever Sir Launcelot and the damosel beheld them. Alas, said the damosel, my knight fighteth passing sore and overlong. Now may ye see, said Sir Launcelot, that he is a noble knight, for to consider his first battle, and his grievous wounds, and even forthwithal so wounded as he is, it is marvel that he may endure this long battle with that good knight. Chapter VIII.How La Cote Male Tale was taken prisoner, and after rescued by Sir Launcelot, and how Sir Launcelot overcame. For brethren. This meanwhile Sir La Cote Male Tale sank right down upon the earth, what for wounded and what for bled he might not stand. Then the other knight had pity of him, and said, Fair young knight, dismay you not, for had ye been fresh when ye met with me, as I was, I wot well that I should not have endured so long as ye have done. And therefore for your noble deeds of arms I shall show to you kindness and gentleness in all that I may. And forthwithal this noble knight, Sir Plenorius, took him up in his arms, and led him into his tower. And then he commanded him the wine, and made to search him and to stop his bleeding wounds. Sir, said La Cote Male Tale, withdraw you from me, and hie you to yonder bridge again, for there will meet with you another manner knight than ever was I. Why, said Plenorius, is there another manner knight behind of your fellowship? Yea, said La Cote Male Tale, there is a much better knight than I am. What is his name? Said Plenorius. Ye shall not know for me, said La Cote Male Tale. Well, said the knight, he shall be encountered withal whatsomever he be. Then Sir Plenorius heard a knight call that said, Sir Plenorius, where art thou? Either thou must deliver me the prisoner that thou hast led unto thy tower, or else come and do battle with me. Then Plenorius gat his horse, and came with a spear in his hand walloping toward Sir Launcelot. And then they began to feuter their spears, and came together as thunder, and smote either other so mightily that their horses fell down under them. And then they avoided their horses, and pulled out their swords, and like two bulls they lashed together with great strokes and foins, but ever Sir Launcelot recovered ground upon him, and Sir Plenorius traced to have gone about him. But Sir Launcelot would not suffer that, but bare him backer and backer, till he came nigh his tower gate. And then said Sir Launcelot, I know thee well for a good knight, but wit thou well thy life and death is in my hand, and therefore yield thee to me, and thy prisoner. The other answered no word, but struck mightily upon Sir Launcelot's helm, that the fire sprang out of his eyes. Then Sir Launcelot doubled his strokes so thick, and smote at him so mightily, that he made him kneel upon his knees. And therewith Sir Launcelot leapt upon him, and pulled him grovelling down. Then Sir Plenorius yielded him, and his tower, and all his prisoners at his will. Then Sir Launcelot received him and took his troth. And then he rode to the other bridge, and there Sir Launcelot jousted with other three of his brethren, the one hight Pilounds, and the other hight Pelogris, and the third Sir Palandras. And first upon horseback Sir Launcelot smote them down, and afterward he beat them on foot, and made them to yield them unto him. And then he returned unto Sir Plenorius, and there he found in his prison King Carados of Scotland, and many other knights, and all they were delivered. And then Sir La Cote Male Tale came to Sir Launcelot, and then Sir Launcelot would have given him all these fortresses and these bridges. Nay, said La Cote Male Tale, I will not have Sir Plenorius' livelihood. With that he will grant you, my lord Sir Launcelot, to come unto King Arthur's court, and to be his knight, and all his brethren, I will pray you, my lord, to let him have his livelihood. I will well, said Sir Launcelot, with this that he will come to the court of King Arthur and become his man, and his brethren 5. And as for you, Sir Plenorius, I will undertake, said Sir Launcelot, at the next feast, so there be a place voided, that ye shall be knight of the Round Table. Sir, said Plenorius, at the next feast of Pentecost I will be at Arthur's court, and at that time I will be guided and ruled as King Arthur and ye will have me. Then Sir Launcelot and Sir La Cote Male Tale reposed them there, unto the time that Sir La Cote Male Tale was whole of his wounds, and there they had merry cheer, and good rest, and many good games, and there were many fair ladies. Chapter IX. How Sir Launcelot made La Cote Male Tale lord of the castle of Pendragon, and after was made knight of the Round Table. And in the meanwhile came Sir Kay, the seneschal, and Sir Brandiles, and anon they fellowshipped with them. And then within 10 days, then departed those knights of Arthur's court from these fortresses. And as Sir Launcelot came by the castle of Pendragon, there he put Sir Brian de les Isles from his lands, for cause he would never be withhold with King Arthur. And all that castle of Pendragon and all the lands thereof he gave to Sir La Cote Male Taile. And then Sir Launcelot sent for Neravens that he made once knight, and he made him to have all the rule of that castle and of that country, under La Cote Male Taile, and so they rode to Arthur's court all wholly together. And at Pentecost next following there was Sir Plenorius and Sir La Cote Male Taile, called otherwise by right Sir Brunner le Noir, both made knights of the Table Round. And great lands King Arthur gave them, and their Brunner le Noir wedded that damosel Maledicent. And after she was called Beauvivante, but ever after for the more part he was called La Cote Male Taile. And he proved a passing noble knight, and mighty, and many worshipful deeds he did after in his life. And Sir Plenorius proved a noble knight and full of prowess, and all the days of their life for the most part they awaited upon Sir Launcelot. And Sir Plenorius' brethren were ever knights of King Arthur. And also, as the French book mocketh mention, Sir La Cote Male Taile avenged his father's death. Chapter 10. How La Beale Isoud sent letters to Sir Tristram by her maid Bragwaine, and of divers adventures of Sir Tristram. Now leave we here Sir La Cote Male Taile, and turn we unto Sir Tristram de Lyonesse that was in Brittany. When La Beale Isoud understood that he was wedded, she sent to him by her maiden Bragwaine as piteous letters as could be thought and made, and her conclusion was that, and it pleased Sir Tristram, that he would come to her court. And bring with him Isoud La Blanche Mains, and they should be kept as well as she herself. Then Sir Tristram called unto him Sir Kehydius, and asked him whether he would go with him into Cornwall secretly. He answered him that he was ready at all times. And then he let ordain privily a little vessel, and therein they went, Sir Tristram, Kehydius, Dame Bragwaine, and Gouvernail, Sir Tristram's squire. So when they were in the sea a contrarious wind blew them on the coasts of North Wales, nigh the Castle Perilous. Then said Sir Tristram, Here shall ye abide me these 10 days, and Gouvernail, my squire, with you. And if so be I come not again by that day, take the next way into Cornwall, for in this forest are many strange adventures, as I have heard say, and some of them I cast me to prove or I depart. And when I may I shall hie me after you. Then Sir Tristram and Kehydius took their horses and departed from their fellowship. And so they rode within that forest a mile and more. And at the last Sir Tristram saw afore him a likely knight, armed, sitting by a well, and a strong mighty horse passing nigh him tied to an oak, and a man hoving and riding by him leading an horse laden with spears. And this knight that sat at the well seemed by his countenance to be passing heavy. Then Sir Tristram rode near him and said, Fair knight, why sit ye so drooping? Ye seem to be a knight-errant by your arms and harness, and therefore dress you to joust with one of us, or with both. Therewithal that knight made no words, but took his shield and buckled it about his neck, and lightly he took his horse and leapt upon him. And then he took a great spear of his squire, and departed his way a furlong. Sir Kehydius asked leave of Sir Tristram to joust first. Do your best, said Sir Tristram. So they met together, and there Sir Kehydius had a fall, and was sore wounded on high above the paps. Then Sir Tristram said, Knight, that is well jousted, now make you ready unto me. I am ready, said the knight. And then that knight took a greater spear in his hand, and encountered with Sir Tristram, and there by great force that knight smote down Sir Tristram from his horse and had a great fall. Then Sir Tristram was sore ashamed, and lightly he avoided his horse, and put his shield afore his shoulder, and drew his sword. And then Sir Tristram required that knight of his knighthood to alight upon foot and fight with him. I will well, said the knight, and so he alighted upon foot, and avoided his horse, and cast his shield upon his shoulder, and drew his sword, and there they fought a long battle together full nigh 2 hours. Then Sir Tristram said, Fair knight, hold thine hand, and tell me of whence thou art, and what is thy name. As for that, said the knight, I will be avist, but an thou wilt tell me thy name peradventure I will tell thee mine. Chapter 11. How Sir Tristram met with Sir Lamorak. De Gallus, and how they fought, and after accorded never to fight together. Now fair knight, he said, my name is Sir Tristram de Lyonesse. Sir, said the other knight, and my name is Sir Lamorak de Gallis. Ah, Sir Lamorak, said Sir Tristram, well be we met, and bethink thee now of the despite thou didst me of the sending of the horn unto King Mark's court, to the intent to have slain or dishonoured my lady the queen, La Beale Isoud. And therefore wit thou well, said Sir Tristram, the one of us shall die or we depart. Sir, said Sir Lamorak, remember that we were together in the Isle of Servage, and at that time ye promised me great friendship. Then Sir Tristram would make no longer delays, but lashed at Sir Lamorak, and thus they fought long till either were weary of other. Then Sir Tristram said to Sir Lamorak, in all my life met I never with such a knight that was so big and well breathed as ye be, therefore, said Sir Tristram, it were pity that any of us both should here be mischieved. Sir, said Sir Lamorak, for your renown and name I will that ye have the worship of this battle, and therefore I will yield me unto you. And therewith he took the point of his sword to yield him. Nay, said Sir Tristram, ye shall not do so, for well I know your proffers, and more of your gentleness than for any fear or dread ye have of me. And therewithal Sir Tristram proffered him his sword and said, Sir Lamorak, as an overcome knight I yield me unto you as to a man of the most noble prowess that ever I met withal. Nay, said Sir Lamorak, I will do you gentleness. I require you let us be sworn together that never none of us shall after this day have ado with other. And therewithal Sir Tristram and Sir Lamorak swear that never none of them should fight against other, nor for weal nor for woe. Chapter XII. How Sir Palomides followed the questing beast, and smote down Sir Tristram and Sir Lamorak with one spear. And this meanwhile there came Sir Palomides, the good knight, following the questing beast that had in shape a head like a serpent's head, and a body like a leopard, buttocks like a lion, and footed like an hart. And in his body there was such a noise as it had been the noise of 30 couple of hounds questing, and such a noise that beast made wheresoever he went, and this beast evermore Sir Palomides followed, for it was called his quest. And right so as he followed this beast it came by Sir Tristram, and soon after came Palomides. And to brief this matter he smote down Sir Tristram and Sir Lamorak both with one spear. And so he departed after the beast Galtisant, that was called the questing beast, wherefore these two knights were passing wroth that Sir Palomides would not fight on foot with them. Here men may understand that be of worship, that he was never formed that all times might stand, but sometime he was put to the worse by malfortune, and at sometime the worse knight put the better knight to a rebuke. Then Sir Tristram and Sir Lamorak gat Sir Kehydius upon a shield betwixt them both, and led him to a forester's lodge, and there they gave him in charge to keep him well, and with him they abode 3 days. Then the two knights took their horses and at the cross they departed. And then said Sir Tristram to Sir Lamorak, I require you if ye hap to meet with Sir Palomides, say him that he shall find me at the same well where I met him, and there I, Sir Tristram, shall prove whether he be better knight than I. And so either departed from other a sundry way, and Sir Tristram rode nigh thereas was Sir Kehydius, and Sir Lamorak rode until he came to a chapel, and there he put his horse unto pasture. And anon there came Sir Meliagance, that was King Bagdemagus' son, and he there put his horse to pasture, and was not ware of Sir Lamorak. And then this night Sir Meliagance made his moan of the love that he had to Queen Guinevere, and there he made a woeful complaint. All this heard Sir Lamorak, and on the morn Sir Lamorak took his horse and rode unto the forest, and there he met with two knights hoving under the woodshaw. Fair knights, said Sir Lamorak, what do ye hoving here and watching? And if ye be knights errant that will joust, lo I am ready. Nay, Sir Knight, they said, not so, we abide not here to joust with you, but we lie here in await of a knight that slew our brother. What knight was that, said Sir Lamorak, that you would fain meet withal? Sir, they said, it is Sir Launcelot that slew our brother, and if ever we may meet with him he shall not escape, but we shall slay him. Ye take upon you a great charge, said Sir Lamorak, for Sir Launcelot is a noble proved knight. As for that we doubt not, for there is none of us but we are good enough for him. I will not believe that, said Sir Lamorak, for I heard never yet of no knight the days of my life but Sir Launcelot was too big for him. Chapter XIII.How Sir Lamorak met with Sir Meliagance, and fought together for the beauty of Dame Guinevere. Right so as they stood talking thus Sir Lamorak was where how Sir Launcelot came riding straight toward them, then Sir Lamorak saluted him, and he him again. And then Sir Lamorak asked Sir Launcelot if there were anything that he might do for him in these marches. Nay, said Sir Launcelot, not at this time I thank you. Then either departed from other, and Sir Lamorak rode again there as he left the two knights, and then he found them hid in the leaved wood. Fie on you, said Sir Lamorak, false cowards, pity and shame it is that any of you should take the high order of knighthood. So Sir Lamorak departed from them, and within a while he met with Sir Meliagance. And then Sir Lamorak asked him why he loved Queen Guinevere as he did, for I was not far from you when ye made your complaint by the chapel. Did ye so? Said Sir Meliagance, then will I abide by it, I love Queen Guinevere, what will ye with it? I will prove and make good that she is the fairest lady and most of beauty in the world. As to that, said Sir Lamorak, I say nay thereto, for Queen Morgause of Orkney, mother to Sir Gawain, and his mother is the fairest queen and lady that beareth the life. That is not so, said Sir Meliagance, and that will I prove with my hands upon thy body. Will ye so? Said Sir Lamorak, and in a better quarrel keep I not to fight. Then they departed either from other in great wrath. And then they came riding together as it had been thunder, and either smote other so sore that their horses fell backward to the earth. And then they avoided their horses, and dressed their shields, and drew their swords. And then they hurtled together as wild boars, and thus they fought a great while. For Meliagance was a good man and of great might, but Sir Lamorak was hard big for him, and put him always aback, but either had wounded other sore. And as they stood thus fighting, by fortune came Sir Launcelot and Sir Bleoberis riding. And then Sir Launcelot rode betwixt them, and asked them for what cause they fought so together, and ye are both knights of King Arthur. Sir, said Meliagance, I shall tell you for what cause we do this battle. I praised my lady, Queen Guinevere, and said she was the fairest lady of the world, and Sir Lamorak said nay thereto, for he said Queen Morgause of Orkney was fairer than she and more of beauty. Ah, Sir Lamorak, why sayest thou so? It is not thy part to dispraise thy princess that thou art under her obeisance, and we all. And therewith he alighted on foot, and said, For this quarrel, make thee ready, for I will prove upon thee that Queen Guinevere is the fairest lady most of bounty in the world. Sir, said Sir Lamorak, I am loath to have ado with you in this quarrel, for every man thinketh his own lady fairest, and though I praise the lady that I love most ye should not be wroth. For though my lady, Queen Guinevere, be fairest in your eye, wit ye well Queen Morgause of Orkney is fairest in mine eye, and so every knight thinketh his own lady fairest. And wit ye well, sir, ye are the man in the world except Sir Tristram that I am most loathest to have ado withal, but, an ye will needs fight with me I shall endure you as long as I may. Then spake Sir Bleoberis and said, My lord Sir Launcelot, I wist you never so misadvised as ye are now, for Sir Lamorak saith you but reason and knightly, for I warn you I have a lady, and methinketh that she is the fairest lady of the world. Were this a great reason that ye should be wroth with me for such language? And well ye wot, that Sir Lamorak is as noble a knight as I know, and he hath aught you and us ever good will, and therefore I pray you be good friends. Then Sir Launcelot said unto Sir Lamorak, I pray you forgive me mine evil will, and if I was misadvised I will amend it. Sir, said Sir Lamorak, the amends is soon made betwixt you and me. And so Sir Launcelot and Sir Bleoberis departed, and Sir Meliagance and Sir Lamorak took their horses, and either departed from other. And within a while came King Arthur, and met with Sir Lamorak, and jousted with him. And there he smote down Sir Lamorak, and wounded him sore with a spear, and so he rode from him, wherefore Sir Lamorak was wroth that he would not fight with him on foot, howbeit that Sir Lamorak knew not King Arthur. Chapter XIV. How Sir Kay met with Sir Tristram. And after of the shame spoken of the knights of Cornwall, and how they jousted. Now leave we of this tale, and speak we of Sir Tristram, that as he rode he met with Sir Kay, the seneschal. And there Sir Kay asked Sir Tristram of what country he was. He answered that he was of the country of Cornwall. It may well be, said Sir Kay, for yet heard I never that ever good knight came out of Cornwall. That is evil spoken, said Sir Tristram, but an it please you to tell me your name I require you. Sir, wit ye well, said Sir Kay, that my name is Sir Kay, the seneschal. Is that your name? Said Sir Tristram, now wit ye well that ye are named the shamefullest knight of your tongue that now is living, howbeit ye are called a good knight, but ye are called unfortunate and passing overthwart of your tongue. And thus they rode together till they came to a bridge. And there was a knight would not let them pass till one of them jousted with him. And so that knight jousted with Sir Kay, and there that knight gave Sir Kay a fall, his name was Sir Tor, Sir Lamorak's half-brother. And then they two rode to their lodging, and there they found Sir Brandiles, and Sir Tor came thither anon after. And as they sat at supper these four knights, three of them spake all shame by Cornish knights. Sir Tristram heard all that they said and he said but little, but he thought the more, but at that time he discovered not his name. Upon the morn Sir Tristram took his horse and abode them upon their way. And there Sir Brandiles proffered to joust with Sir Tristram, and Sir Tristram smote him down, horse and all, to the earth. Then Sir Tor le Fay's de Vachor encountered with Sir Tristram and there Sir Tristram smote him down, and then he rode his way, and Sir Kay followed him, but he would not of his fellowship. Then Sir Brandiles came to Sir Kay and said, I would wit fain what is that knight's name. Come on with me, said Sir Kay, and we shall pray him to tell us his name. So they rode together till they came nigh him, and then they were where he sat by a well, and had put off his helm to drink at the well. And when he saw them come he laced on his helm lightly, and took his horse, and proffered them to joust. Nay, said Sir Brandiles, we jousted late enough with you, we come not in that intent. But for this we come to require you of knighthood to tell us your name. My fair knights, sit hen that is your desire, and to please you, ye shall wit that my name is Sir Tristram de Lyonesse, nephew unto King Mark of Cornwall. In good time, said Sir Brandiles, and well be ye found, and wit ye well that we be right glad that we have found you, and we be of a fellowship that would be right glad of your company. For ye are the knight in the world that the noble fellowship of the Round Table most desireth to have the company of. God thank them, said Sir Tristram, of their great goodness, but as yet I feel well that I am unable to be of their fellowship, for I was never yet of such deeds of worthiness to be in the company of such a fellowship. Ah, said Sir Kay, and ye be Sir Tristram de Lyonesse, ye are the man called now most of prowess except Sir Launcelot du Lake. For he beareth not the life, Christian nor heathen, that can find such another knight, to speak of his prowess, and of his hands, and his truth withal. For yet could there never creature say of him dishonour and make it good. Thus they talked a great while, and then they departed either from other such ways as them seemed best. Chapter 15 That how King Arthur was brought into the Forest Perilous, and how Sir Tristram saved his life. Now shall ye hear what was the cause that King Arthur came into the Forest Perilous, that was in North Wales, by the means of a lady. Her name was Anoor, and this lady came to King Arthur at Cardiff. And she by fair promise and fair behests made King Arthur to ride with her into that Forest Perilous, and she was a great sorceress, and many days she had loved King Arthur, and because she would have him to lie by her she came into that country. So when the king was gone with her many of his knights followed after King Arthur when they missed him, as Sir Launcelot, Brandiles, and many other, and when she had brought him to her tower she desired him to lie by her. And then the king remembered him of his lady, and would not lie by her for no craft that she could do. Then every day she would make him ride into that forest with his own knights, to the intent to have had King Arthur slain. For when this Lady Anoor saw that she might not have him at her will, then she laboured by false means to have destroyed King Arthur, and slain. Then the Lady of the Lake that was alway friendly to King Arthur, she understood by her subtle crafts that King Arthur was like to be destroyed. And therefore this Lady of the Lake, that hight Nimue, came into that forest to seek after Sir Launcelot du Lake or Sir Tristram for to help King Arthur. For as that same day this Lady of the Lake knew well that King Arthur should be slain, unless that he had help of one of these two knights. And thus she rode up and down till she met with Sir Tristram, and anon as she saw him she knew him. "O my lord Sir Tristram," she said, "well be ye met, and blessed be the time that I have met with you, for this same day, and within these 2 hours, shall be done the foulest deed that ever was done in this land." "O fair damosel," said Sir Tristram, "may I amend it?" "Come on with me," she said, "and that in all the haste ye may, for ye shall see the most worshipfullest knight of the world hard bestead." Then said Sir Tristram, "I am ready to help such a noble man." "He is neither better nor worse," said the Lady of the Lake, "but the noble King Arthur himself." "God defend," said Sir Tristram, "that ever he should be in such distress." Then they rode together a great pace, until they came to a little turret or castle. And underneath that castle they saw a knight standing upon foot fighting with two knights, and so Sir Tristram beheld them, and at the last the two knights smote down the one knight, and that one of them unlaced his helm to have slain him. And the Lady Lenore gat King Arthur's sword in her hand to have stricken off his head. And therewithal came Sir Tristram with all his might, crying, "Traitress, traitress, leave that." And anon there Sir Tristram smote the one of the knights through the body that he fell dead, and then he rushed to the other and smote his back asunder, and in the meanwhile the Lady of the Lake cried to King Arthur, "Let not that false lady escape." Then King Arthur overtook her, and with the same sword he smote off her head, and the Lady of the Lake took up her head and hung it up by the hair of her saddle-bow. And then Sir Tristram horsed King Arthur and rode forth with him, but he charged the Lady of the Lake not to discover his name as at that time. When the king was horsed he thanked heartily Sir Tristram, and desired to wit his name. But he would not tell him, but that he was a poor knight adventurous, and so he bare King Arthur fellowship till he met with some of his knights. And within a while he met with Sir Ector de Maris, and he knew not King Arthur nor Sir Tristram, and he desired to joust with one of them. Then Sir Tristram rode unto Sir Ector, and smote him from his horse. And when he had done so he came again to the king and said, "My lord, yonder is one of your knights, he may bear you fellowship, and another day that deed that I have done for you I trust to God ye shall understand that I would do you service." "Alas," said King Arthur, "let me wit what ye are." "Not at this time," said Sir Tristram. So he departed and left King Arthur and Sir Ector together. Chapter XVI. How Sir Tristram came to La Beale Isoud, and how Kehydius began to love Beale Isoud, and of a letter that Tristram found. And then at a day set Sir Tristram and Sir Lamorak met at the well. And then they took Kehydius at the forester's house, and so they rode with him to the ship where they left Dame Bragwaine and Gouvernail, and so they sailed into Cornwall all wholly together. And by assent and information of Dame Bragwaine when they were landed they rode unto Sir Dinas, the seneschal, a trusty friend of Sir Tristram's. And so Dame Bragwaine and Sir Dinas rode to the court of King Mark, and told the queen, La Beale Isoud, that Sir Tristram was nigh her in that country. Then for very pure joy La Beale Isoud swooned. And when she might speak she said, "Gentle knight seneschal, help that I might speak with him, out her my heart will brast." Then Sir Dinas and Dame Bragwaine brought Sir Tristram and Kehydius privily unto the court, unto a chamber whereas La Beale Isoud had assigned it. And to tell the joys that were betwixt La Beale Isoud and Sir Tristram, there is no tongue can tell it, nor heart think it, nor pen write it. And as the French book mocketh mention, at the first time that ever Sir Kehydius saw La Beale Isoud he was so enamoured upon her that for very pure love he might never withdraw it. And at the last, as ye shall hear ere the book be ended, Sir Kehydius died for the love of La Beale Isoud. And then privily he wrote unto her letters and ballads of the most goodliest that were used in those days. And when La Beale Isoud understood his letters she had pity of his complaint, and unavised she wrote another letter to comfort him withal. And Sir Tristram was all this while in a turret at the commandment of La Beale Isoud, and when she might she came unto Sir Tristram. So on a day King Mark played at the chess under a chamber window. And at that time Sir Tristram and Sir Kehydius were within the chamber over King Mark, and as it mishapped Sir Tristram found the letter that Kehydius sent unto La Beale Isoud, also he had found the letter that she wrote unto Kehydius. And at that same time La Beale Isoud was in the same chamber. Then Sir Tristram came unto La Beale Isoud and said, Madam, here is a letter that was sent unto you, and here is the letter that ye sent unto him that sent you that letter. Alas, madam, the good love that I have loved you. And many lands and riches have I forsaken for your love, and now ye are a traitress to me, the which doth me great pain. But as for thee, Sir Kehydius, I brought thee out of Brittany into this country, and thy father, King Howel, I won his lands, howbeit I wedded thy sister Isoud La Blanche Mains for the goodness she did unto me. And yet, as I am true knight, she is a clean maiden for me, but wit thou well, Sir Kehydius, for this falsehood and treason thou hast done me, I will revenge it upon thee. And therewithal Sir Tristram drew out his sword and said, Sir Kehydius, keep thee, and then La Beale Isoud swooned to the earth. And when Sir Kehydius saw Sir Tristram come upon him he saw none other boot, but leapt out at a bay window even over the head where sat King Mark playing at the chess. And when the king saw one come hurling over his head he said, Fellow, what art thou, and what is the cause thou leapest out at that window? My lord the king, said Kehydius, it fortuned me that I was asleep in the window above your head, and as I slept I slumbered, and so I fell down. And thus Sir Kehydius excused him. Chapter 17. How Sir Tristram departed from Tintagel, and how he sorrowed and was so long in a forest till he was out of his mind. Then Sir Tristram dread sore lest he were discovered unto the king that he was there. Wherefore he drew him to the strength of the tower, and armed him in such armour as he had for to fight with them that would withstand him. And so when Sir Tristram saw there was no resistance against him he sent Gouvernail for his horse and his spear, and nightly he rode forth out of the castle openly, that was called the castle of Tintagel. And even at gate he met with Gingalin, Sir Gawaine's son. And anon Sir Gingalin put his spear in his rest, and ran upon Sir Tristram and brake his spear. And Sir Tristram at that time had but a sword, and gave him such a buffet upon the helm that he fell down from his saddle, and his sword slid adown, and carved asunder his horse's neck. And so Sir Tristram rode his way into the forest, and all this doing saw King Mark. And then he sent a squire unto the hurt knight, and commanded him to come to him, and so he did. And when King Mark wist that it was Sir Gingalin he welcomed him and gave him an horse, and asked him what knight it was that had encountered with him. Sir, said Gingalin, I wot not what knight he was, but well I wot that he sigheth and mocketh great dole. Then Sir Tristram within a while met with a knight of his own, that hight Sir Fergus. And when he had met with him he made great sorrow, insomuch that he fell down off his horse in a swoon, and in such sorrow he was in 3 days and 3 nights. Then at the last Sir Tristram sent unto the court by Sir Fergus, for to speer what tidings. And so as he rode by the way he met with a damosel that came from Sir Palomides, to know and seek how Sir Tristram did. Then Sir Fergus told her how he was almost out of his mind. Alas, said the damosel, where shall I find him? In such a place, said Sir Fergus. Then Sir Fergus found Queen Isoud sick in her bed, making the greatest dole that ever any earthly woman made. And when the damosel found Sir Tristram she made great dole because she might not amend him, for the more she made of him the more was his pain. And at the last Sir Tristram took his horse and rode away from her. And then was it 3 days or that she could find him, and then she brought him meat and drink, but he would none. And then another time Sir Tristram escaped away from the damosel, and it happed him to ride by the same castle where Sir Palomides and Sir Tristram did battle when La Beale Isoud departed them. And there by fortune the damosel met with Sir Tristram again, making the greatest dole that ever earthly creature made, and she yetta to the lady of that castle and told her of the misadventure of Sir Tristram. Alas, said the lady of that castle, where is my lord, Sir Tristram? Right here by your castle, said the damosel. In good time, said the lady, is he so nigh me, he shall have meat and drink of the best. And an harp I have of his whereupon he taught me, for of goodly harping he beareth the prize in the world. So this lady and damosel brought him meat and drink, but he ate little thereof. Then upon a night he put his horse from him, and then he unlaced his armor, and then Sir Tristram would go into the wilderness, and brast down the trees and boughs. And otherwhile when he found the harp that the lady sent him, then would he harp, and play thereupon and weep together. And sometime when Sir Tristram was in the wood that the lady wist not where he was, then would she sit her down and play upon that harp, then would Sir Tristram come to that harp, and hearken thereto, and sometime he would harp himself. Thus he there endured a quarter of a year. Then at the last he ran his way, and she wist not where he was become. And then was he naked and waxed lean and poor of flesh. And so he fell in the fellowship of herdmen and shepherds, and daily they would give him some of their meat and drink. And when he did any shrewd deed they would beat him with rods, and so they clipped him with shears and made him like a fool. Chapter XVIII.How Sir Tristram soused Dagonet in a. Well, and how Palomides sent a damosel to seek Tristram, and how Palomides met with King Mark. And upon a day Dagonet, King Arthur's fool, came into Cornwall with 2 squires with him. And as they rode through that forest they came by a fair well where Sir Tristram was wont to be, and the weather was hot, and they alighted to drink of that well, and in the meanwhile their horses brake loose. Right so Sir Tristram came unto them, and first he soused Sir Dagonet in that well, and after his squires, and thereat laughed the shepherds. And forthwithal he ran after their horses and brought them again one by one, and right so, wet as they were, he made them leap up and ride their ways. Thus Sir Tristram endured there an half year naked, and would never come in town nor village. The meanwhile the damosel that Sir Palomides sent to seek Sir Tristram, she yeta unto Sir Palomides and told him all the mischief that Sir Tristram endured. Alas, said Sir Palomides, it is great pity that ever so noble a knight should be so mischieved for the love of a lady, but nevertheless, I will go and seek him, and comfort him an I may. Then a little before that time La Beale Isoud had commanded Sir XXIII.How out of the country of Cornwall. So Sir XXIII.How departed with a dolorous heart, and by adventure he met with Sir Palomides, and they in fellowship together. And either complained to other of their hot love that they loved La Beale Isoud. Now let us, said Sir Palomides, seek Sir Tristram, that loved her as well as we, and let us prove whether we may recover him. So they rode into that forest, and 3 days and 3 nights they would never take their lodging, but ever sought Sir Tristram. And upon a time, by adventure, they met with King Mark that was ridden from his men all alone. When they saw him Sir Palomides knew him, but Sir XXIII.How knew him not. Ah, false king, said Sir Palomides, it is pity thou hast thy life, for thou art a destroyer of all worshipful knights, and by thy mischief and thy vengeance thou hast destroyed that most noble knight, Sir Tristram de Lyonesse. And therefore defend thee, said Sir Palomides, for thou shalt die this day. That were shame, said King Mark, for ye two are armed and I am unarmed. As for that, said Sir Palomides, I shall find a remedy therefore. Here is a knight with me, and thou shalt have his harness. Nay, said King Mark, I will not have ado with you, for cause have ye none to me, for all the misease that Sir Tristram hath was for a letter that he found. For as to me I did to him no displeasure, and God knoweth I am full sorry for his disease and malady. So when the king had thus excused him they were friends, and King Mark would have had them unto Tintagel. But Sir Palomides would not, but turned unto the realm of Logres, and Sir XXIII.How said that he would go into Brittany. Now turn we unto Sir Dagonet again, that when he and his squires were upon horseback he deemed that the shepherds had sent that fool to array them so, because that they laughed at them. And so they rode unto the keepers of beasts and all to beat them. Sir Tristram saw them beat that were wont to give him meat and drink, then he ran thither and gat Sir Dagonet by the head, and gave him such a fall to the earth that he bruised him sore so that he lay still. And then he wrast his sword out of his hand, and therewith he ran to one of his squires and smote off his head, and the other fled. And so Sir Tristram took his way with that sword in his hand, running as he had been wild wood. Then Sir Dagonet rode to King Mark and told him how he had sped in that forest. And therefore, said Sir Dagonet, beware, King Mark, that thou come not about that well in the forest, for there is a fool naked, and that fool and I fool met together, and he had almost slain me. Ah, said King Mark, that is Sir Motte le Brun, that fell out of his wit because he lost his lady, for when Sir Gaheris smote down Sir Motte and won his lady of him, never since was he in his mind, and that was pity, for he was a good knight. Chapter XIX.How it was noised how Sir Tristram was dead, and how La Beale Isoud would have slain herself. Then Sir Andred, that was cousin unto Sir Tristram, made a lady that was his paramour to say and to noise it that she was with Sir Tristram or ever he died. And this tale she brought unto King Mark's court, that she buried him by a well, and that or he died he besought King Mark to make his cousin, Sir Andred, king of the country of Lyonesse, of the which Sir Tristram was lord of. All this did Sir Andred because he would have had Sir Tristram's lands. And when King Mark heard tell that Sir Tristram was dead he wept and made great dole. But when Queen Isoud heard of these tidings she made such sorrow that she was nigh out of her mind, and so upon a day she thought to slay herself and never to live after Sir Tristram's death. And so upon a day La Beale Isoud gat a sword privily and bare it to her garden, and there she pight the sword through a plum tree up to the hilt, so that it stuck fast, and it stood breast high. And as she would have run upon the sword and to have slain herself all this espied King Mark, how she kneeled down and said, Sweet Lord Jesu, have mercy upon me, for I may not live after the death of Sir Tristram de Lyonesse. For he was my first love and he shall be the last. And with these words came King Mark and took her in his arms, and then he took up the sword, and bare her away with him into a tower. And there he made her to be kept, and watched her surely, and after that she lay long sick, nigh at the point of death. This meanwhile ran Sir Tristram naked in the forest with the sword in his hand, and so he came to an hermitage, and there he laid him down and slept, and in the meanwhile the hermit stole away his sword, and laid meat down by him. Thus was he kept there 10 days, and at the last he departed and came to the herdmen again. And there was a giant in that country that hight Tauleas, and for fear of Sir Tristram more than 7 year he durst never much go at large, but for the most part he kept him in a sure castle of his own. And so this Tauleas heard tell that Sir Tristram was dead, by the noise of the court of King Mark. Then this Tauleas went daily at large. And so he happed upon a day he came to the herdmen wandering and languoring, and there he set him down to rest among them. The meanwhile there came a knight of Cornwall that led a lady with him, and his name was Sir Dinadan. And when the giant saw him he went from the herdmen and hid him under a tree, and so the knight came to that well, and there he alighted to repose him. And as soon as he was from his horse this giant Tauleas came betwixt this knight and his horse, and took the horse and leapt upon him. So forthwith he rode unto Sir Dinadan and took him by the collar, and pulled him afore him upon his horse, and there would have stricken off his head. Then the herdmen said unto Sir Tristram, Help yonder knight. Help ye him, said Sir Tristram. We dare not, said the herdmen. Then Sir Tristram was ware of the sword of the knight thereas it lay, and so thither he ran and took up the sword and struck off Sir Tauleas' head, and so he yetta his way to the herdmen. Chapter XX. How King Mark found Sir Tristram naked, and made him to be borne home to Tintagel, and how he was there known by a brochet. Then the knight took up the giant's head and bare it with him unto King Mark, and told him what adventure betid him in the forest, and how a naked man rescued him from the grimly giant, Tauleas. Where had ye this adventure? Said King Mark. Forsooth, said Sir Dinadan, at the fair fountain in your forest where many adventurous knights meet, and there is the mad man. Well, said King Mark, I will see that wild man. So within a day or two King Mark commanded his knights and his hunters that they should be ready on the morn for to hunt, and so upon the morn he went unto that forest. And when the king came to that well he found there lying by that well a fair naked man, and a sword by him. Then King Mark blew and straked, and therewith his knights came to him. And then the king commanded his knights to take that naked man with fairness, and bring him to my castle. So they did softly and fair, and cast mantles upon Sir Tristram, and so led him unto Tintagel. And there they bathed him, and washed him, and gave him hot suppings till they had brought him well to his remembrance. but all this while there was no creature that knew Sir Tristram, nor what man he was. So it fell upon a day that the queen, La Beale Isoud, heard of such a man, that ran naked in the forest, and how the king had brought him home to the court. Then La Beale Isoud called unto her Dame Bragwaine and said, Come on with me, for we will go see this man that my lord brought from the forest the last day. So they passed forth, and spurred where was the sick man. And then a squire told the queen that he was in the garden taking his rest, and reposing him against the sun. So when the queen looked upon Sir Tristram she was not remembered of him. But ever she said unto Dame Bragwaine, Meseemeth I should have seen him heretofore in many places. But as soon as Sir Tristram saw her he knew her well enough. And then he turned away his visage and wept. Then the queen had always a little brochet with her that Sir Tristram gave her the first time that ever she came into Cornwall, and never would that brochet depart from her but if Sir Tristram was nigh thereas was La Beale Isoud. And this brochet was sent from the king's daughter of France unto Sir Tristram for great love. And anon as this little brochet felt a savour of Sir Tristram, she leapt upon him and licked his leers and his ears, and then she whined and quested, and she smelled at his feet and at his hands, and on all parts of his body that she might come to. Ah, my lady, said Dame Bragwaine unto La Beale Isoud, alas, alas, said she, I see it is mine own lord, Sir Tristram. And thereupon Isoud fell down in a swoon, and so lay a great while. And when she might speak she said, My lord Sir Tristram, blessed be God ye have your life, and now I am sure ye shall be discovered by this little brochet, for she will never leave you. And also I am sure as soon as my lord, King Mark, do know you he will banish you out of the country of Cornwall, or else he will destroy you. For God's sake, mine own lord, grant King Mark his will, and then draw you unto the court of King Arthur, for there are ye beloved, and ever when I may I shall send unto you. And when ye list ye may come to me, and at all times early and late I will be at your commandment, to live as poor a life as ever did queen or lady. O madam, said Sir Tristram, go from me, for mickle anger and danger have I escaped for your love. Chapter XXI.How King Mark, by the advice of his council, banished Sir Tristram out of Cornwall the term of 10 years. Then the queen departed, but the brochet would not from him. And therewithal came King Mark, and the brochet set upon him, and bayed at them all. Therewithal Sir Andred spake and said, Sir, this is Sir Tristram, I see by the brochet. Nay, said the king, I cannot suppose that. Then the king asked him upon his faith what he was, and what was his name. So God me help, said he, my name is Sir Tristram de Lyonesse, now do by me what ye list. Ah, said King Mark, me repenteth of your recovery. And then he let call his barons to judge Sir Tristram to the death. Then many of his barons would not assent thereto, and in especial Sir Dinas, the seneschal, and Sir Fergus. And so by the advice of them all Sir Tristram was banished out of the country for 10 years, and thereupon he took his oath upon a book before the king and his barons. And so he was made to depart out of the country of Cornwall. And there were many barons brought him unto his ship, of the which some were his friends and some his foes. And in the meanwhile there came a knight of King Arthur's, his name was Dinadan, and his coming was for to seek after Sir Tristram. Then they showed him where he was armed at all points going to the ship. Now fair knight, said Sir Dinadan, or ye pass this court that ye will joust with me I require thee. With a good will, said Sir Tristram, and these lords will give me leave. Then the barons granted thereto, and so they ran together, and there Sir Tristram gave Sir Dinadan a fall. And then he prayed Sir Tristram to give him leave to go in his fellowship. Ye shall be right welcome, said then Sir Tristram. And so they took their horses and rode to their ships together, and when Sir Tristram was in the sea he said, Greet well King Mark and all mine enemies, and say them I will come again when I may. And well am I rewarded for the fighting with Sir Marhaus, and delivered all this country from servage. And well am I rewarded for the fetching and costs of Queen Isoud out of Ireland, and the danger that I was in first and last, and by the way coming home what danger I had to bring again Queen Isoud from the castle Plura. And well am I rewarded when I fought with Sir Bleoberis for Sir Segwaride's wife, and well am I rewarded when I fought with Sir Blamor de Gannis for King Anguish, father unto La Beale Isoud. And well am I rewarded when I smote down the good knight, Sir Lamorak de Gallis, at King Mark's request. And well am I rewarded when I fought with the king with the 100 knights, and the king of North Gallis, and both these would have put his land in servage, and by me they were put to a rebuke. And well am I rewarded for the slaying of Tauleas, the mighty giant, and many other deeds have I done for him, and now have I my warison. And tell King Mark that many noble knights of the Table Round have spared the barons of this country for my sake. Also am I not well rewarded when I fought with the good knight Sir Palomides and rescued Queen Isoud from him. And at that time King Mark said afore all his barons I should have been better rewarded. And forthwithal he took the sea. Chapter XXII. How a damosel sought help to help Sir Launcelot against 30 knights, and how Sir Tristram fought with them. And at the next landing, fast by the sea, there met with Sir Tristram and with Sir Dinadan, Sir Ector de Maris and Sir Bors de Gannis, and there Sir Ector jousted with Sir Dinadan, and he smote him and his horse down. And then Sir Tristram would have jousted with Sir Bors, and Sir Bors said that he would not joust with no Cornish knights, for they are not called men of worship, and all this was done upon a bridge. And with this came Sir Bleoberis and Sir Driant, and Sir Bleoberis proffered to joust with Sir Tristram, and there Sir Tristram smote down Sir Bleoberis. Then said Sir Bors de Gannis, I wist never Cornish knight of so great valor nor so valiant as that knight that beareth the trappings embroidered with crowns. And then Sir Tristram and Sir Dinadan departed from them into a forest, and there met them a damosel that came for the love of Sir Launcelot to seek after some noble knights of King Arthur's court for to rescue Sir Launcelot. And so Sir Launcelot was ordained, for by the treason of Queen Morgan le Fay to have slain Sir Launcelot, and for that cause she ordained 30 knights to lie in await for Sir Launcelot, and this damosel knew this treason. And for this cause the damosel came for to seek noble knights to help Sir Launcelot. For that night, or the day after, Sir Launcelot should come where these 30 knights were. And so this damosel met with Sir Bors and Sir Ector and with Sir Driant, and there she told them all 4 of the treason of Morgan le Fay, and then they promised her that they would be nigh where Sir Launcelot should meet with the 30 knights. And if so be they set upon him we will do rescues as we can. So the damosel departed, and by adventure the damosel met with Sir Tristram and with Sir Dinadan, and there the damosel told them all the treason that was ordained for Sir Launcelot. Fair damosel, said Sir Tristram, bring me to that same place where they should meet with Sir Launcelot. Then said Sir Dinadan, what will ye do? It is not for us to fight with 30 knights, and wit you well I will not thereof. As to match 1 knight 2 or 3 is enough and they be men, but for to match 15 knights that will I never undertake. Fie for shame, said Sir Tristram, do but your part. Nay, said Sir Dinadan, I will not thereof, but if ye will lend me your shield, for ye bear a shield of Cornwall, and for the cowardice that is named to the knights of Cornwall, by your shields ye be ever forborne. Nay, said Sir Tristram, I will not depart from my shield for her sake that gave it me. But one thing, said Sir Tristram, I promise thee, Sir Dinadan, but if thou wilt promise me to abide with me, here I shall slay thee, for I desire no more of thee but answer 1 knight. And if thy heart will not serve thee, stand by and look upon me and them. Sir, said Sir Dinadan, I promise you to look upon and to do what I may to save myself, but I would I had not met with you. So then anon these 30 knights came fast by these 4 knights, and they were ware of them, and either of other. And so these 30 knights let them pass, for this cause, that they would not wrath them, if case be that they had ado with Sir Launcelot. And the 4 knights let them pass to this intent, that they would see and behold what they would do with Sir Launcelot. And so the 30 knights passed on and came by Sir Tristram and by Sir Dinadan, and then Sir Tristram cried on high, Lo, here is a knight against you for the love of Sir Launcelot. And there he slew 2 with 1 spear and 10 with his sword. And then came in Sir Dinadan and he did passing well, and so of the 30 knights there went but 10 away, and they fled. All this battle saw Sir Bors de Gannis and his 3 fellows, and then they saw well it was the same knight that jousted with them at the bridge. Then they took their horses and rode unto Sir Tristram, and praised him and thanked him of his good deeds, and they all desired Sir Tristram to go with them to their lodging, and he said, nay, he would not go to no lodging. Then they all 4 knights prayed him to tell them his name. Fair lords, said Sir Tristram, as at this time I will not tell you my name. Chapter XIII.How Sir Tristram and Sir Dinadan came to a lodging where they must joust with 2 knights. Then Sir Tristram and Sir Dinadan rode forth their way till they came to the shepherds and to the herdmen, and there they asked them if they knew any lodging or harbour there nigh hand. Forsooth, sirs, said the herdmen, hereby is good lodging in a castle, but there is such a custom that there shall no knight be harboured but if he joust with 2 knights, and if he be but 1 knight he must joust with 2. And as ye be therein soon shall ye be matched. There is shrewd harbour, said Sir Dinadan, lodge where ye will, for I will not lodge there. Fie for shame, said Sir Tristram, are ye not a knight of the Table Round? Wherefore ye may not with your worship refuse your lodging. Not so, said the herdmen, for an ye be beaten and have the worse ye shall not be lodged there, and if ye beat them ye shall be well harboured. Ah, said Sir Dinadan, they are 2 sure knights. Then Sir Dinadan would not lodge there in no manner but as Sir Tristram required him of his knighthood, and so they rode thither. And to make short tale, Sir Tristram and Sir Dinadan smote them down both, and so they entered into the castle and had good cheer as they could think or devise. And when they were unarmed, and thought to be merry and in good rest, there came in at the gate Sir Palomides and Sir Gaheris, requiring to have the custom of the castle. What array is this? Said Sir Dinadan, I would have my rest. That may not be, said Sir Tristram, now must we needs defend the custom of this castle, insomuch as we have the better of the lords of this castle, and therefore, said Sir Tristram, needs must ye make you ready. In the devil's name, said Sir Dinadan, came I into your company. And so they made them ready, and Sir Gaheris encountered with Sir Tristram, and Sir Gaheris had a fall. And Sir Palomides encountered with Sir Dinadan, and Sir Dinadan had a fall, then was it fall for fall. So then must they fight on foot. That would not Sir Dinadan, for he was so sore bruised of the fall that Sir Palomides gave him. Then Sir Tristram unlaced Sir Dinadan's helm, and prayed him to help him. I will not, said Sir Dinadan, for I am sore wounded of the 30 knights that we had but late ago to do withal. But ye fare, said Sir Dinadan unto Sir Tristram, as a madman and as a man that is out of his mind that would cast himself away, and I may curse the time that ever I saw you. For in all the world are not 2 such knights that be so wood as is Sir Launcelot and ye Sir Tristram. For once I fell in the fellowship of Sir Launcelot as I have done now with you, and he set me a work that a quarter of a year I kept my bed. Jesu defend me, said Sir Dinadan, from such 2 knights, and specially from your fellowship. Then, said Sir Tristram, I will fight with them both. Then Sir Tristram bade them come forth both, for I will fight with you. Then Sir Palomides and Sir Gaheris dressed them, and smote at them both. Then Dinadan smote at Sir Gaheris a stroke or 2, and turned from him. Nay, said Sir Palomides, it is too much shame for us 2 knights to fight with one. And then he did bid Sir Gaheris stand aside with that knight that hath no list to fight. Then they rode together and fought long, and at the last Sir Tristram doubled his strokes, and drove Sir Palomides aback more than 3 strides. And then by one assent Sir Gaheris and Sir Dinadan went betwixt them, and departed them in sunder. And then by assent of Sir Tristram they would have lodged together. But Sir Dinadan would not lodge in that castle. And then he cursed the time that ever he came in their fellowship, and so he took his horse, and his harness, and departed. Then Sir Tristram prayed the lords of that castle to lend him a man to bring him to a lodging, and so they did, and overtook Sir Dinadan, and rode to their lodging 2 mile thence with a good man in a priory, and there they were well at ease. And that same night Sir Bors and Sir Bleoberis, and Sir Ector and Sir Driant, abode still in the same place there as Sir Tristram fought with the 30 knights. And there they met with Sir Launcelot the same night, and had made promise to lodge with Sir Colgrevance the same night. Chapter 24. How Sir Tristram jousted with Sir Kay and Sir Sagramore le Desirous, and how Sir Gawain turned Sir Tristram from Morgan le Fay. But anon as the noble knight, Sir Launcelot, heard of the shield of Cornwall, then wist he well that it was Sir Tristram that fought with his enemies. And then Sir Launcelot praised Sir Tristram, and called him the man of most worship in the world. So there was a knight in that priory that hight Pellinore, and he desired to wit the name of Sir Tristram, but in no wise he could not. And so Sir Tristram departed and left Sir Dinadan in the priory, for he was so weary and so sore bruised that he might not ride. Then this knight, Sir Pellinore, said to Sir Dinadan, "Sit hen that ye will not tell me that knight's name, I will ride after him and make him to tell me his name, or he shall die therefore." "Beware, Sir Knight," said Sir Dinadan, "for an ye follow him ye shall repent it." So that night, Sir Pellinore, rode after Sir Tristram and required him of justs. Then Sir Tristram smote him down and wounded him through the shoulder, and so he passed on his way. And on the next day following Sir Tristram met with Perseverance, and they told him that there was made a great cry of tournament between King Carados of Scotland and the King of North Wales. And either should joust against other at the Castle of Maidens. And these Perseverance sought all the country after the good knights, and in especial King Carados let make seeking for Sir Launcelot du Lake, and the King of North Gales let seek after Sir Tristram de Lyonesse. And at that time Sir Tristram thought to be at that justs, and so by adventure they met with Sir Kay, the Seneschal, and Sir Sagramore le Desirous. And Sir Kay required Sir Tristram to joust, and Sir Tristram in a manner refused him, because he would not be hurt nor bruised against the great justs that should be before the Castle of Maidens, and therefore thought to repose him and to rest him. And always Sir Kay cried, "Sir Knight of Cornwall, joust with me, or else yield thee to me as recreant." When Sir Tristram heard him say so he turned to him, and then Sir Kay refused him and turned his back. Then Sir Tristram said, "As I find thee I shall take thee." Then Sir Kay turned with evil will, and Sir Tristram smote Sir Kay down, and so he rode forth. Then Sir Sagramore le Desirous rode after Sir Tristram, and made him to joust with him, and there Sir Tristram smote down Sir Sagramore le Desirous from his horse, and rode his way. And the same day he met with a damosel that told him that he should win great worship of a knight adventurous that did much harm in all that country. When Sir Tristram heard her say so, he was glad to go with her to win worship. So Sir Tristram rode with that damosel a 6 mile, and then met him Sir Gawaine, and therewithal Sir Gawaine knew the damosel, that she was a damosel of Queen Morgan le Fay. Then Sir Gawaine understood that she led that knight to some mischief. "Fair knight," said Sir Gawaine, "whither ride you now with that damosel?" "Sir," said Sir Tristram, "I wot not whither I shall ride but as the damosel will lead me." "Sir," said Sir Gawaine, "ye shall not ride with her, for she and her lady did never good, but ill." And then Sir Gawaine pulled out his sword and said, "Damosel, but if thou tell me anon for what cause thou leadest this knight with thee thou shalt die for it right anon, I know all your lady's treason, and yours." "Mercy, Sir Gawaine," she said, "and if you will save my life I will tell you." "Say on," said Sir Gawaine, "and thou shalt have thy life." "Sir," she said, "Queen Morgan le Fay, my lady, hath ordained 30 ladies to seek an espy after Sir Launcelot or Sir Tristram, and by the trains of these ladies, who that may first meet any of these 2 knights they should turn them unto Morgan le Fay's castle, saying that they should do deeds of worship. And if any of the 2 knights came there be 30 knights lying and watching in a tower to wait upon Sir Launcelot or upon Sir Tristram." "Fie for shame," said Sir Gawaine, "that ever such false treason should be wrought or used in a queen, and a king's sister, and a king and queen's daughter." Chapter 25. How Sir Tristram and Sir Gawaine rode to have foughten with the 30 knights, but they durst not come out. "Sir," said Sir Gawaine, "will ye stand with me, and we will see the malice of these 30 knights." "Sir," said Sir Tristram, "go ye to them, an it please you, and ye shall see I will not fail you, for it is not long ago since I and a fellow met with 30 knights of that queen's fellowship, and God speed us so that we may win worship." So then Sir Gawaine and Sir Tristram rode toward the castle where Morgan le Fay was, and ever Sir Gawaine deemed well that he was Sir Tristram de Lyonesse, because he heard that 2 knights had slain and beaten 30 knights. And when they came afore the castle Sir Gawain spake on high and said, Queen Morgan le Fay, send out your knights that ye have laid in a watch for Sir Launcelot and for Sir Tristram. Now, said Sir Gawain, I know your false treason, and through all places where that I ride men shall know of your false treason, and now let's see, said Sir Gawain, whether ye dare come out of your castle, ye 30 knights. Then the queen spake and all the 30 knights at once, and said, Sir Gawain, full well wottest thou what thou dost and sayest. For by God we know thee passing well, but all that thou speakest and dost, thou sayest it upon pride of that good knight that is there with thee. For there be some of us that know full well the hands of that knight over all well. And wit thou well, Sir Gawain, it is more for his sake than for thine that we will not come out of this castle. For wit ye well, Sir Gawain, the knight that beareth the arms of Cornwall, we know him and what he is. Then Sir Gawain and Sir Tristram departed and rode on their ways a day or two together, and there by adventure, they met with Sir Kay and Sir Sagramore le Desirous. And then they were glad of Sir Gawain, and he of them, but they wist not what he was with the shield of Cornwall, but by deeming. And thus they rode together a day or two. And then they were ware of Sir Brosant's pite chasing a lady for to have slain her, for he had slain her paramour afore. Hold you all still, said Sir Gawain, and show none of you forth, and ye shall see me reward yonder false knight. For in he sbu he is so well horsed that he will escape away. And then Sir Gawain rode betwixt Sir Bros and the lady, and said, False knight, leave her, and have ado with me. When Sir Bros saw no more but Sir Gawain he feutred his spear, and Sir Gawain against him, and there Sir Bros overthrew Sir Gawain, and then he rode over him, and overthwart him 20 times to have destroyed him. And when Sir Tristram saw him do so villainous a deed, he hurled out against him. And when Sir Bros saw him with the shield of Cornwall he knew him well that it was Sir Tristram, and then he fled, and Sir Tristram followed after him. And Sir Brosant's pite was so hoarse that he went his way quite, and Sir Tristram followed him long, for he would fain have been avenged upon him. And so when he had long chased him, he saw a fair well, and thither he rode to repose him, and tied his horse till a tree. Chapter 26. How Damosel Bragwaine found Tristram sleeping by a well, and how she delivered letters to him from La Beale Isaud. And then he pulled off his helm and washed his visage and his hands, and so he fell asleep. In the meanwhile came a damosel that had sought Sir Tristram many ways and days within this land. And when she came to the well she looked upon him, and had forgotten him as in remembrance of Sir Tristram, but by his horse she knew him, that hight Passebrule that had been Sir Tristram's horse many years. For when he was mad in the forest Sir Fergus kept him. So this lady, Dame Bragwaine, abode still till he was awake. So when she saw him wake she saluted him, and he her again, for either knew other of old acquaintance. Then she told him how she had sought him long and broad, and there she told him how she had letters from Queen La Beale Isaud. Then anon Sir Tristram read them, and wit ye well he was glad, for therein was many a piteous complaint. Then Sir Tristram said, Lady Bragwaine, ye shall ride with me till that tournament be done at the Castle of Maidens, and then shall bear letters and tidings with you. And then Sir Tristram took his horse and sought lodging, and there he met with a good ancient knight and prayed him to lodge with him. Right so came Gouvernail unto Sir Tristram, that was glad of that lady. So this old knight's name was Sir Pellowns, and he told of the great tournament that should be at the Castle of Maidens. And there Sir Launcelot and 32 knights of his blood had ordained shields of Cornwall. And right so there came one unto Sir Pellowns, and told him that Sir Persides de Blois was come home. Then that knight held up his hands and thanked God of his coming home. And there Sir Pellowns told Sir Tristram that in 2 years he had not seen his son, Sir Persides. Sir, said Sir Tristram, I know your son well enough for a good knight. So on a time Sir Tristram and Sir Persides came to their lodging both at once, and so they unarmed them, and put upon them their clothing. And then these 2 knights each welcomed other. And when Sir Persides understood that Sir Tristram was of Cornwall, he said he was once in Cornwall, and there I jousted afore King Mark. And so it happed me at that time to overthrow 10 knights, and then came to me Sir Tristram de Lyonesse and overthrew me, and took my lady away from me, and that shall I never forget, but I shall remember me and ever I see my time. Ah, said Sir Tristram, now I understand that ye hate Sir Tristram. What deem ye? Ween ye that Sir Tristram is not able to withstand your malice? Yes, said Sir Persides, I know well that Sir Tristram is a noble knight and a much better knight than I, yet shall I not owe him my good will. Right as they stood thus talking at a bay window of that castle, they saw many knights riding to and fro toward the tournament. And then was Sir Tristram ware of a likely knight riding upon a great black horse, and a black-covered shield. What knight is that, said Sir Tristram, with the black horse and the black shield? He seemeth a good knight. I know him well, said Sir Persides, he is one of the best knights of the world. Then is it Sir Launcelot, said Tristram. Nay, said Sir Persides, it is Sir Palomides, that is yet unchristened. Chapter XXVIII.How Sir Tristram had a fall with Sir Palomides, and how Launcelot overthrew 2 knights. Then they saw much people of the country salute Sir Palomides. And within a while after there came a squire of the castle, that told Sir Palomides that was lord of that castle, that a knight with a black shield had smitten down 13 knights. Fair brother, said Sir Tristram unto Sir Persides, let us cast upon us cloaks, and let us go see the play. Not so, said Sir Persides, we will not go like knaves thither, but we will ride like men and good knights to withstand our enemies. So they armed them, and took their horses and great spears, and thither they went thereas many knights assayed themselves before the tournament. And anon Sir Palomides saw Sir Persides, and then he sent a squire unto him and said, Go thou to the yonder knight with the green shield and therein a lion of gold, and say him I require him to joust with me. And tell him that my name is Sir Palomides. When Sir Persides understood that request of Sir Palomides, he made him ready, and there anon they met together, but Sir Persides had a fall. Then Sir Tristram dressed him to be revenged upon Sir Palomides, and that saw Sir Palomides that was ready and so was not Sir Tristram, and took him at an advantage and smote him over his horse's tail when he had no spear in his rest. Then stirred up Sir Tristram and took his horse lightly, and was wroth out of measure, and sore ashamed of that fall. Then Sir Tristram sent unto Sir Palomides by Gouvernail, and prayed him to joust with him at his request. Nay, said Sir Palomides, as at this time I will not joust with that knight, for I know him better than he weeneth. And if he be wroth he may write it to morn at the Castle of Maidens, where he may see me and many other knights. With that came Sir Dinadan, and when he saw Sir Tristram wroth he list not to jape. Lo, said Sir Dinadan, here may a man prove, be a man never so good yet may he have a fall, and he was never so wise but he might be overseen, and he rideth well that never fell. So Sir Tristram was passing wroth, and said to Sir Persides and to Sir Dinadan, I will revenge me. Right so as they stood talking there came by Sir Tristram a likely knight riding passing soberly and heavily with a black shield. What knight is that? Said Sir Tristram unto Sir Persides. I know him well, said Sir Persides, for his name is Sir Bryant of North Wales, so he passed on among other knights of North Wales. And there came in Sir Launcelot du Lake with a shield of the arms of Cornwall, and he sent a squire unto Sir Bryant, and required him to joust with him. Well, said Sir Bryant, sit hen I am required to joust I will do what I may. And there Sir Launcelot smote down Sir Bryant from his horse a great fall. And then Sir Tristram marvelled what knight he was that bare the shield of Cornwall. Whatsoever he be, said Sir Dinadan, I warrant you he is of King Ban's blood, the which be knights of the most noble prowess in the world, for to account so many for so many. Then there came 2 knights of North Gales, that one hight Heu de la Montagne, and the other Sir Madoc de la Montagne, and they challenged Sir Launcelot foot-hot. Sir Launcelot not refusing them but made him ready, with one spear he smote them down both over their horses' croups, and so Sir Launcelot rode his way. By the good Lord, said Sir Tristram, he is a good knight that beareth the shield of Cornwall, and meseemeth he rideth in the best manner that ever I saw knight ride. Then the king of North Gales rode unto Sir Palomides and prayed him heartily for his sake to joust with that knight that hath done us of North Gales despite. Sir, said Sir Palomides, I am full loath to have ado with that knight, and cause why is, for as to morn the great tournament shall be, and therefore I will keep myself fresh by my will. Nay, said the King of Northgalis, I pray you require him of justs. Sir, said Sir Palomides, I will joust at your request, and require that knight to joust with me, and often I have seen a man have a fall at his own request. Chapter 28. How Sir Launcelot jousted with Palomides and overthrew him, and after he was assailed with 12 knights. Then Sir Palomides sent unto Sir Launcelot a squire, and required him of justs. Fair fellow, said Sir Launcelot, tell me thy lord's name. Sir, said the squire, my lord's name is Sir Palomides, the good knight. In good hour, said Sir Launcelot, for there is no knight that I saw this 7 years that I had liefer ado withal than with him. And so either knights made them ready with 2 great spears. Nay, said Sir Dinadan, ye shall see that Sir Palomides will quit him right well. It may be so, said Sir Tristram, but I undertake that knight with the shield of Cornwall shall give him a fall. I believe it not, said Sir Dinadan. Right so they spurred their horses and feutred their spears, and either hit other, and Sir Palomides brake a spear upon Sir Launcelot, and he sat and moved not. But Sir Launcelot smote him so lightly that he made his horse to avoid the saddle, and the stroke brake his shield and the hauberk, and had he not fallen he had been slain. How now, said Sir Tristram, I wist well by the manner of their riding both that Sir Palomides should have a fall. Right so Sir Launcelot rode his way, and rode to a well to drink and to repose him, and they of Northgalis espied him whither he rode. And then there followed him 12 knights for to have mischieved him, for this cause that upon the morn at the tournament of the Castle of Maidens that he should not win the victory. So they came upon Sir Launcelot suddenly, and unnethe he might put upon him his helm and take his horse, but they were in hands with him. And then Sir Launcelot gat his spear, and rode through them, and there he slew a knight and brake a spear in his body. Then he drew his sword and smote upon the right hand and upon the left hand, so that within a few strokes he had slain other 3 knights, and the remnant that abode he wounded them sore all that did abide. Thus Sir Launcelot escaped from his enemies of North Wales, and then Sir Launcelot rode his way till a friend, and lodged him till on the morn, for he would not the first day have ado in the tournament because of his great labour. And on the first day he was with King Arthur thereas he was set on high upon a scaffold to discern who was best worthy of his deeds. So Sir Launcelot was with King Arthur, and jousted not the first day. Chapter 29. How Sir Tristram behaved him the first day of the tournament, and there he had the prize. Now turn we unto Sir Tristram de Lyonesse, that commanded Gouvernail, his servant, to ordain him a black shield with none other remembrance therein. And so Sir Persides and Sir Tristram departed from their host Sir Pellauns, and they rode early toward the tournament, and then they drew them to King Carado's side, of Scotland. And anon knights began the field what of King Northgalis' part, and what of King Carado's part, and there began great party. Then there was hurling and rashing. Right so came in Sir Persides and Sir Tristram and so they did fare that they put the King of Northgalis aback. Then came in Sir Bleoberis de Ganis and Sir Gaheris with them of Northgalis, and then was Sir Persides smitten down and almost slain, for more than 40 horsemen went over him. For Sir Bleoberis did great deeds of arms, and Sir Gaheris failed him not. When Sir Tristram beheld them, and saw them do such deeds of arms, he marvelled what they were. Also Sir Tristram thought shame that Sir Persides was so done to. And then he gat a great spear in his hand, and then he rode to Sir Gaheris and smote him down from his horse. And then was Sir Bleoberis wroth, and gat a spear and rode against Sir Tristram in great ire. And there Sir Tristram met with him, and smote Sir Bleoberis from his horse. So then the king with the 100 knights was wroth, and he horsed Sir Bleoberis and Sir Gaheris again, and there began a great medley. And ever Sir Tristram held them passing short, and ever Sir Bleoberis was passing busy upon Sir Tristram, and there came Sir Dinadan against Sir Tristram, and Sir Tristram gave him such a buffet that he swooned in his saddle. Then anon Sir Dinadan came to Sir Tristram and said, Sir, I know thee better than thou weenest, but here I promise thee my troth I will never come against thee more, for I promise thee that sword of thine shall never come on mine helm. With that came Sir Bleoberis, and Sir Tristram gave him such a buffet that down he laid his head, and then he caught him so sore by the helm that he pulled him under his horse's feet. And then King Arthur blew to lodging. Then Sir Tristram departed to his pavilion, and Sir Dinadan rode with him, and Sir Persides and King Arthur then, and the kings upon both parties, marvelled what knight that was with the black shield. Many said their advice, and some knew him for Sir Tristram, and held their peace and would not say. So that first day King Arthur, and all the kings and lords that were judges, gave Sir Tristram the prize. Howbeit they knew him not, but named him the knight with the black shield. Chapter XXX.How Sir Tristram returned against King Arthur's party because he saw Sir Palomides on that party. Then upon the morn Sir Palomides returned from the king of North Gallis, and rode to King Arthur's side, where was King Carados, and the king of Ireland, and Sir Launcelot's kin, and Sir Gawaine's kin. So Sir Palomides sent the damosel unto Sir Tristram that he sent to seek him when he was out of his mind in the forest, and this damosel asked Sir Tristram what he was and what was his name. As for that, said Sir Tristram, tell Sir Palomides ye shall not wit as at this time unto the time I have broken 2 spears upon him. But let him wit thus much, said Sir Tristram, that I am the same knight that he smote down in over evening at the tournament, and tell him plainly on what party that Sir Palomides be I will be of the contrary party. Sir, said the damosel, ye shall understand that Sir Palomides will be on King Arthur's side, where the most noble knights of the world be. In the name of God, said Sir Tristram, then will I be with the king of North Gallis, because Sir Palomides will be on King Arthur's side, and else I would not but for his sake. So when King Arthur was come they blew unto the field. And then there began a great party, and so King Carados jousted with the king of the 100 knights, and their King Carados had a fall, then was there hurling and rushing, and right so came in knights of King Arthur's. And they bare aback the king of North Gallis knights. Then Sir Tristram came in, and began so roughly and so bigly that there was none might withstand him, and thus Sir Tristram dured long. And at the last Sir Tristram fell among the fellowship of King Ban, and there fell upon him Sir Bors de Ganis, and Sir Ector de Maris, and Sir Blamor de Ganis, and many other knights. And then Sir Tristram smote on the right hand and on the left hand, that all lords and ladies spake of his noble deeds. But at the last Sir Tristram should have had the worse had not the king with the 100 knights been. And then he came with his fellowship and rescued Sir Tristram, and brought him away from those knights that bear the shields of Cornwall. And then Sir Tristram saw another fellowship by themselves, and there were 40 knights together, and Sir Kay, the seneschal, was their governor. Then Sir Tristram rode in amongst them, and there he smote down Sir Kay from his horse. And there he fared among those knights like a greyhound among conies. Then Sir Launcelot found a knight that was sore wounded upon the head. Sir, said Sir Launcelot, who wounded you so sore? Sir, he said, a knight that beareth a black shield, and I may curse the time that ever I met with him, for he is a devil and no man. So Sir Launcelot departed from him and thought to meet with Sir Tristram, and so he rode with his sword drawn in his hand to seek Sir Tristram. And then he espied him how he hurled here and there, and at every stroke Sir Tristram well nigh smote down a knight. O mercy Jesu! Said the king, sit the times I bear arms saw I never no knight do so marvellous deeds of arms. And if I should set upon this knight, said Sir Launcelot to himself, I did shame to myself, and therewithal Sir Launcelot put up his sword. And then the king with the 100 knights and 100 more of North Wales set upon the 20 of Sir Launcelot's kin, and they 20 knights held them ever together as wild swine, and none would fail other. And so when Sir Tristram beheld the noblesse of these 20 knights he marvelled of their good deeds, for he saw by their fare and by their rule that they had liefer die than avoid the field. Now Jesu, said Sir Tristram, well may he be valiant and full of prowess that hath such a sort of noble knights unto his kin, and full like is he to be a noble man that is their leader and governor. He meant it by Sir Launcelot du Lake. So when Sir Tristram had beholden them long he thought shame to see 200 knights battering upon 20 knights. Then Sir Tristram rode unto the king with the 100 knights and said, Sir, leave your fighting with those 20 knights, for ye win no worship of them, ye be so many and they so few. And wit ye well they will not out of the field I see by their cheer and countenance, and worship get ye none and ye slay them. Therefore leave your fighting with them, for I to increase my worship I will ride to the 20 knights and help them with all my might and power. Nay, said the king with the 100 knights, ye shall not do so. Now I see your courage and courtesy I will withdraw my knights for your pleasure, for evermore a good knight will favour another, and like will draw to like. Chapter 31. How Sir Tristram found Palomides. By a well, and brought him with him to his lodging. Then the king with the 100 knights withdrew his knights. And all this while, and long tofore, Sir Launcelot had watched upon Sir Tristram with a very purpose to have fellowshipped with him. And then suddenly Sir Tristram, Sir Dinadan, and Gouvernail, his man, rode their way into the forest, that no man perceived where they went. So then King Arthur blew unto lodging, and gave the king of Northgalis the prize because Sir Tristram was upon his side. Then Sir Launcelot rode here and there, so wood as lion that fought his fill, because he had lost Sir Tristram, and so he returned unto King Arthur. And then in all the field was a noise that with the wind it might be heard 2 mile thence, how the lords and ladies cried, the knight with the black shield hath won the field. Alas, said King Arthur, where is that knight become? It is shame to all those in the field so to let him escape away from you, but with gentleness and courtesy ye might have brought him unto me to the castle of maidens. Then the noble King Arthur went unto his knights and comforted them in the best wise that he could, and said, My fair fellows, be not dismayed, howbeit ye have lost the field this day. And many were hurt and sore wounded, and many were whole. My fellows, said King Arthur, look that ye be of good cheer, for tomorrow I will be in the field with you and revenge you of your enemies. So that night King Arthur and his knights reposed themselves. The damosel that came from La Beale Isaud unto Sir Tristram, all the while the tournament was doing she was with Queen Guinevere, and ever the queen asked her for what cause she came into that country. Madam, she answered, I come for none other cause but for my lady La Beale Isaud to wit of your welfare. For in no wise she would not tell the queen that she came for Sir Tristram's sake. So this lady, Dame Bragwaine, took her leave of Queen Guinevere, and she rode after Sir Tristram. And as she rode through the forest she heard a great cry, then she commanded her squire to go into the forest to wit what was that noise. And so he came to a well, and there he found a knight bound until a tree crying as he had been wood, and his horse and his harness standing by him. And when he espied that squire, therewith he abrade and brake himself loose, and took his sword in his hand, and ran to have slain the squire. Then he took his horse and fled all that ever he might unto Dame Bragwaine, and told her of his adventure. Then she rode unto Sir Tristram's pavilion, and told Sir Tristram what adventure she had found in the forest. Alas, said Sir Tristram, upon my head there is some good knight at mischief. Then Sir Tristram took his horse and his sword and rode thither, and there he heard how the knight complained unto himself and said, I, woeful knight Sir Palomides, what misadventure befalleth me, that thus am defoiled with falsehood and treason? Through Sir Bors and Sir Ector. Alas, he said, why live I so long? And then he gat his sword in his hands, and made many strange signs and tokens, and so through his raging he threw his sword into that fountain. Then Sir Palomides wailed and wrang his hands. And at the last for pure sorrow he ran into that fountain, over his belly, and sought after his sword. Then Sir Tristram saw that, and ran upon Sir Palomides, and held him in his arms fast. What art thou, said Palomides, that holdeth me so? I am a man of this forest that would thee none harm. Alas, said Sir Palomides, I may never win worship where Sir Tristram is, for ever where he is and I be there, then get I no worship. And if he be away for the most part one have the gree, unless that Sir Launcelot be there or Sir Lamorak. Then Sir Palomides said, once in Ireland Sir Tristram put me to the worse, and another time in Cornwall, and in other places in this land. What would ye do, said Sir Tristram, and ye had Sir Tristram? I would fight with him, said Sir Palomides, and ease my heart upon him, and yet, to say thee sooth, Sir Tristram is the gentlest knight in this world living. What will ye do, said Sir Tristram, will ye go with me to your lodging? Nay, said he, I will go to the king with the 100 knights, for he rescued me from Sir Bors de Ganis and Sir Ector, and else had I been slain traitorly. Sir Tristram said him such kind words that Sir Palomides went with him to his lodging. Then Gouvernail went to fore, and charged Dame Bragwaine to go out of the way to her lodging. And bid ye Sir Persides that he make him no quarrels. And so they rode together till they came to Sir Tristram's pavilion, and there Sir Palomides had all the cheer that might be had all that night. But in no wise Sir Palomides might not know what was Sir Tristram. And so after supper they yeta to rest, and Sir Tristram for great travail slept till it was day. And Sir Palomides might not sleep for anguish. And in the dawning of the day he took his horse privily, and rode his way unto Sir Gaheris and unto Sir Sagramore le Desirous, where they were in their pavilions, for they three were fellows at the beginning of the tournament. And then upon the morn the king blew unto the tournament upon the 3rd day. Chapter XXXII.How Sir Tristram smote down Sir Palomides, and how he jousted with King Arthur, and other feats. So the king of North Galis and the king with the 100 knights, they two encountered with King Carados and with the king of Ireland. And there the king with the 100 knights smote down King Carados, and the king of North Galis smote down the king of Ireland. With that came in Sir Palomides, and when he came he made great work, for by his indented shield he was well known. So came in King Arthur, and did great deeds of arms together, and put the king of North Galis and the king with the 100 knights to the worse. With this came in Sir Tristram with his black shield, and anon he jousted with Sir Palomides, and there by fine force Sir Tristram smote Sir Palomides over his horse's croup. Then King Arthur cried, Knight with the black shield, make thee ready to me, and in the same wise Sir Tristram smote King Arthur. And then by force of King Arthur's knights the king and Sir Palomides were horsed again. Then King Arthur with a great eager heart he gat a spear in his hand, and there upon the one side he smote Sir Tristram over his horse. Then foot-hot Sir Palomides came upon Sir Tristram, as he was upon foot, to have overridden him. Then Sir Tristram was ware of him, and there he stooped aside, and with great ire he gat him by the arm, and pulled him down from his horse. Then Sir Palomides lightly arose, and then they dashed together mightily with their swords. And many kings, queens, and lords, stood and beheld them. And at the last Sir Tristram smote Sir Palomides upon the helm 3 mighty strokes, and at every stroke that he gave him he said, This for Sir Tristram's sake. With that Sir Palomides fell to the earth grovelling. Then came the king with the 100 knights, and brought Sir Tristram an horse, and so was he horsed again. By then was Sir Palomides horsed, and with great ire he jousted upon Sir Tristram with his spear as it was in the rest, and gave him a great dash with his sword. Then Sir Tristram avoided his spear, and gat him by the neck with his both hands, and pulled him clean out of his saddle, and so he bare him afore him the length of 10 spears, and then in the presence of them all he let him fall at his adventure. Then Sir Tristram was ware of King Arthur with a naked sword in his hand, and with his spear Sir Tristram ran upon King Arthur, and then King Arthur boldly abode him and with his sword he smote to his spear, and therewithal Sir Tristram stonied. And so King Arthur gave him 3 or 4 strokes or he might get out his sword, and at the last Sir Tristram drew his sword and, either, assailed other passing hard. With that the great press departed them. Then Sir Tristram rode here and there and did his great pain, that 11 of the good knights of the blood of King Ban, that was of Sir Launcelot's kin, that day Sir Tristram smote down. That all the estates marvelled of his great deeds and all cried upon the knight with the black shield. Chapter XXXIII.How Sir Launcelot hurt Sir Tristram, and how after Sir Tristram smote down Sir Palomides. Then this cry was so large that Sir Launcelot heard it. And then he gat a great spear in his hand and came towards the cry. Then Sir Launcelot cried, The knight with the black shield, make thee ready to joust with me. When Sir Tristram heard him say so he gat his spear in his hand, and either abashed down their heads, and came together as thunder. And Sir Tristram's spear brake in pieces, and Sir Launcelot by malfortune struck Sir Tristram on the side a deep wound nigh to the death, but yet Sir Tristram avoided not his saddle, and so the spear brake. Therewithal Sir Tristram that was wounded gat out his sword, and he rushed to Sir Launcelot, and gave him 3 great strokes upon the helm that the fire sprang thereout, and Sir Launcelot abashed his head lowly toward his saddle-bow. And therewithal Sir Tristram departed from the field, for he felt him so wounded that he weened he should have died, and Sir Dinadan espied him and followed him into the forest. Then Sir Launcelot abode and did many marvellous deeds. So when Sir Tristram was departed by the forest side he alighted, and unlaced his harness and freshed his wound, then weened Sir Dinadan that he should have died. Nay, nay, said Sir Tristram, Dinadan never dread thee, for I am heart whole, and of this wound I shall soon be whole, by the mercy of God. By that Sir Dinadan was where came Palomides riding straight upon them. And then Sir Tristram was where that Sir Palomides came to have destroyed him. And so Sir Dinadan gave him warning, and said, Sir Tristram, my lord, ye are so sore wounded that ye may not have ado with him, therefore I will ride against him and do to him what I may, and if I be slain ye may pray for my soul. And in the meanwhile ye may withdraw you and go into the castle, or in the forest, that he shall not meet with you. Sir Tristram smiled and said, I thank you, Sir Dinadan, of your good will, but ye shall wit that I am able to handle him. And then anon hastily he armed him, and took his horse, and a great spear in his hand, and said to Sir Dinadan, Adieu, and rode towards Sir Palomides a soft pace. Then when Sir Palomides saw that, he made countenance to amend his horse, but he did it for this cause, for he abode Sir Gaheris that came after him. And when he was come he rode toward Sir Tristram. Then Sir Tristram sent unto Sir Palomides, and required him to joust with him, and if he smote down Sir Palomides he would do no more to him, and if it so happened that Sir Palomides smote down Sir Tristram, he bade him do his utterance. So they were accorded. Then they met together, and Sir Tristram smote down Sir Palomides that he had a grievous fall, so that he lay still as he had been dead. And then Sir Tristram ran upon Sir Gaheris, and he would not have jousted. But whether he would or not Sir Tristram smote him over his horse's croup, that he lay still as though he had been dead. And then Sir Tristram rode his way and left Sir Persides' squire within the pavilions, and Sir Tristram and Sir Dinadan rode to an old knight's place to lodge them. And that old knight had 5 sons at the tournament, for whom he prayed God heartily for their coming home. And so, as the French book saith, they came home all 5 well beaten. And when Sir Tristram departed into the forest Sir Launcelot held alway the stour like hard, as a man arrogant that took no heed to himself, and wit ye well there was many a noble knight against him. And when King Arthur saw Sir Launcelot do so marvellous deeds of arms he then armed him, and took his horse and his armour, and rode into the field to help Sir Launcelot, and so many knights came in with King Arthur. And to make short tale in conclusion, the King of Northgalis and the King of the 100 Knights were put to the worse, and because Sir Launcelot abode and was the last in the field the prize was given him. But Sir Launcelot would neither for king, queen, nor knight, have the prize, but where the cry was cried through the field, Sir Launcelot hath won the field this day. Sir Launcelot let make another cry contrary, Sir Tristram hath won the field, for he began first, and last he hath endured, and so hath he done the first day, the second, and the third day. Chapter XV.How the prize of the third day was given to Sir Launcelot, and Sir Launcelot gave it to Sir Tristram. Then all the estates and degrees high and low said of Sir Launcelot great worship, for the honour that he did unto Sir Tristram. And for that honour doing to Sir Tristram he was at that time more praised and renowned than an he had overthrown 500 knights. And all the people wholly for this gentleness, first the estates both high and low, and after the commonalty cried at once, Sir Launcelot hath won the field whosoever say nay. Then was Sir Launcelot wroth and ashamed, and so therewithal he rode to King Arthur. Alas, said the king, we are all dismayed that Sir Tristram is thus departed from us. By God, said King Arthur, he is one of the noblest knights that ever I saw hold spear or sword in hand, and the most courteous knight in his fighting. For full hard I saw him, said King Arthur, when he smote Sir Palomides upon the helm thrice, that he abashed his helm with his strokes, and also he said, Here is a stroke for Sir Tristram, and thus thrice he said. Then King Arthur, Sir Launcelot and Sir Dodinas le Savage took their horses to seek Sir Tristram, and by the means of Sir Persides he had told King Arthur where Sir Tristram was in his pavilion. But when they came there, Sir Tristram and Sir Dinadan were gone. Then King Arthur and Sir Launcelot were heavy, and returned again to the Castle of Maidens, making great dole for the hurt of Sir Tristram, and his sudden departing. So God me help, said King Arthur, I am more heavy that I cannot meet with him than for all the hurts that all my knights have had at the tournament. Right so came Sir Gaheris and told King Arthur how Sir Tristram had smitten down Sir Palomides, and it was at Sir Palomides' own request. Alas, said King Arthur, that was great dishonour to Sir Palomides, inasmuch as Sir Tristram was sore wounded, and now may we all, kings, and knights, and men of worship, say that Sir Tristram may be called a noble knight. And one of the best knights that ever I saw the days of my life. For I will that ye all, kings and knights, know, said King Arthur, that I never saw a knight do so marvellously as he hath done these 3 days, for he was the first that began and that longest held on, save this last day. And though he was hurt, it was a manly adventure of 2 noble knights, and when 2 noble men encounter needs must the one have the worse, like as God will suffer at that time. As for me, said Sir Launcelot, for all the lands that ever my father left me I would not have hurt Sir Tristram and I had known him at that time, that I hurt him was for I saw not his shield. For an I had seen his black shield, I would not have meddled with him for many causes, for late he did as much for me as ever did knight, and that is well known that he had ado with 30 knights, and no help save Sir Dinadan. And one thing shall I promise, said Sir Launcelot, Sir Palomides shall repent it as in his unkindly dealing for to follow that noble knight that I by mishap hurted thus. Sir Launcelot said all the worship that might be said by Sir Tristram. Then King Arthur made a great feast to all that would come. And thus we let pass King Arthur, and a little we will turn unto Sir Palomides, that after he had a fall of Sir Tristram, he was nigh hand arrogant out of his wit for despite of Sir Tristram. And so he followed him by adventure. And as he came by a river, in his woodness he would have made his horse to have leapt over, and the horse failed footing and fell in the river, wherefore Sir Palomides was adread lest he should have been drowned. And then he avoided his horse, and swam to the land, and let his horse go down by adventure. Chapter XXXV.How Palomides came to the castle. Where Sir Tristram was, and of the quest that Sir Launcelot and 10 knights made for Sir Tristram. And when he came to the land he took off his harness, and sat roaring and crying as a man out of his mind. Right so came a damosel even by Sir Palomides, that was sent from Sir Gawain and his brother unto Sir Mordred, that lay sick in the same place with that old knight where Sir Tristram was. For, as the French book saith, Sir Persides hurt so Sir Mordred a 10 days afore, and had it not been for the love of Sir Gawain and his brother, Sir Persides had slain Sir Mordred. And so this damosel came by Sir Palomides, and she and he had language together, the which pleased neither of them. And so the damosel rode her ways till she came to the old knight's place, and there she told that old knight how she met with the woodest knight by adventure that ever she met withal. What bare he in his shield? Said Sir Tristram. It was indented with white and black, said the damosel. Ah, said Sir Tristram, that was Sir Palomides, the good knight. For well I know him, said Sir Tristram, for one of the best knights living in this realm. Then that old knight took a little hackney, and rode for Sir Palomides, and brought him unto his own manor. And full well knew Sir Tristram Sir Palomides, but he said but little, for at that time Sir Tristram was walking upon his feet, and well amended of his hurts. And always when Sir Palomides saw Sir Tristram he would behold him full marvellously, and ever him seemed that he had seen him. Then would he say unto Sir Dinadan, and ever I may meet with Sir Tristram he shall not escape mine hands. I marvel, said Sir Dinadan, that ye boast behind Sir Tristram, for it is but late that he was in your hands, and ye in his hands, why would ye not hold him when ye had him? For I saw myself twice or thrice that ye gat but little worship of Sir Tristram. Then was Sir Palomides ashamed. So leave we them a little while in the old castle with the old knight Sir Darras. Now shall we speak of King Arthur, that said to Sir Launcelot, had not ye been we had not lost Sir Tristram, for he was here daily unto the time ye met with him, and in an evil time, said Arthur, ye encountered with him. My lord Arthur, said Launcelot, ye put upon me that I should be cause of his departition, God knoweth it was against my will. But when men be hot in deeds of arms oft they hurt their friends as well as their foes. And my lord, said Sir Launcelot, ye shall understand that Sir Tristram is a man that I am loath to offend, for he hath done for me more than ever I did for him as yet. But then Sir Launcelot made bring forth a book, and then Sir Launcelot said, Here we are 10 knights that will swear upon a book never to rest one night where we rest another this 12-month until that we find Sir Tristram. And as for me, said Sir Launcelot, I promise you upon this book that an I may meet with him either with fairness or foulness I shall bring him to this court, or else I shall die therefore. And the names of these 10 knights that had undertaken this quest were these following: first was Sir Launcelot, Sir Ector de Maris, Sir Bors de Ganis, and Bleoberis, and Sir Blamor de Ganis, and Lucan the butler, Sir Uwaine, Sir Galihud Lionel, and Galiodin. So these 10 noble knights departed from the court of King Arthur, and so they rode upon their quest together until they came to a cross where departed 4 ways, and there departed the fellowship in 4 to seek Sir Tristram. And as Sir Launcelot rode by adventure he met with Dame Bragwaine that was sent into that country to seek Sir Tristram, and she fled as fast as her palfrey might go. So Sir Launcelot met with her and asked her why she fled. Ah, fair knight, said Dame Bragwaine, I flee for dread of my life, for here followeth me Sir Breuse Saunce Pite to slay me. Hold you nigh me, said Sir Launcelot. Then when Sir Launcelot saw Sir Breuse Saunce Pite, Sir Launcelot cried unto him, and said, False knight, destroyer of ladies and damosels, now thy last days be come. When Sir Breuse Saunce Pite saw Sir Launcelot's shield he knew it well, for at that time he bare not the arms of Cornwall, but he bare his own shield. And then Sir Breuse fled, and Sir Launcelot followed after him. But Sir Breuse was so well horsed that when him list to flee he might well flee, and also abide when him list. And then Sir Launcelot returned unto Dame Bragwaine, and she thanked him of his great labour. Chapter 36. How Sir Tristram, Sir Palomides, and Sir Dinadan were taken and put in prison. Now will we speak of Sir Lucan the butler, that by fortune he came riding to the same place thereas was Sir Tristram, and in he came in none other intent but to ask harbour. Then the porter asked what was his name. Tell your lord that my name is Sir Lucan, the butler, a knight of the Round Table. So the porter went unto Sir Darras, lord of the place, and told him who was there to ask harbour. Nay, nay, said Sir Daname, that was nephew to Sir Darras, say him that he shall not be lodged here, but let him wit that I, Sir Daname, will meet with him anon, and bid him make him ready. So Sir Daname came forth on horseback, and there they met together with spears, and Sir Lucan smote down Sir Daname over his horse's croup, and then he fled into that place, and Sir Lucan rode after him, and asked after him many times. Then Sir Dinadan said to Sir Tristram, It is shame to see the lord's cousin of this place deaf-oiled. Abide, said Sir Tristram, and I shall redress it. And in the meanwhile Sir Dinadan was on horseback, and he jousted with Lucan the butler, and there Sir Lucan smote Dinadan through the thick of the thigh, and so he rode his way. And Sir Tristram was wroth that Sir Dinadan was hurt, and followed after, and thought to avenge him, and within a while he overtook Sir Lucan, and bade him turn. And so they met together so that Sir Tristram hurt Sir Lucan passing sore and gave him a fall. With that came Sir Uwaine, a gentle knight, and when he saw Sir Lucan so hurt he called Sir Tristram to joust with him. Fair knight, said Sir Tristram, tell me your name I require you. Sir knight, wit ye well my name is Sir Uwaine le Fay de Roy Urien. Ah, said Sir Tristram, by my will I would not have ado with you at no time. Ye shall not so, said Sir Uwaine, but ye shall have ado with me. And then Sir Tristram saw none other boat, but rode against him, and overthrew Sir Uwaine and hurt him in the side, and so he departed unto his lodging again. And when Sir Dinadan understood that Sir Tristram had hurt Sir Lucan he would have ridden after Sir Lucan for to have slain him, but Sir Tristram would not suffer him. Then Sir Uwaine let ordain an horse litter, and brought Sir Lucan to the abbey of Ganis, and the castle thereby hight the castle of Gannis, of the which Sir Bleoberis was lord. And at that castle Sir Launcelot promised all his fellows to meet in the quest of Sir Tristram. So when Sir Tristram was come to his lodging, there came a damosel that told Sir Darras that 3 of his sons were slain at that tournament, and 2 grievously wounded that they were never like to help themselves. And all this was done by a noble knight that bare the black shield, and that was he that bare the prize. Then came there one and told Sir Darras that the same knight was within, him that bare the black shield. Then Sir Darras yede unto Sir Tristram's chamber, and there he found his shield and showed it to the damosel. Ah, sir, said the damosel, that same is he that slew your 3 sons. Then without any tarrying Sir Darras put Sir Tristram, and Sir Palomides, and Sir Dinadan, within a strong prison, and there Sir Tristram was like to have died of great sickness. And every day Sir Palomides would reprove Sir Tristram of old hate betwixt them. And ever Sir Tristram spake fair and said little. But when Sir Palomides saw the falling of sickness of Sir Tristram, then was he heavy for him, and comforted him in all the best wise he could. And as the French book saith, there came 40 knights to Sir Darras that were of his own kin, and they would have slain Sir Tristram and his 2 fellows, but Sir Darras would not suffer that, but kept them in prison, and meat and drink they had. So Sir Tristram endured their great pain, for sickness had undertaken him, and that is the greatest pain a prisoner may have. For all the while a prisoner may have his health of body he may endure under the mercy of God and in hope of good deliverance. But when sickness toucheth a prisoner's body, then may a prisoner say all wealth is him bereft, and then he hath cause to wail and to weep. Right so did Sir Tristram when sickness had undertaken him, for then he took such sorrow that he had almost slain himself. Chapter XVIII.How King Mark was sorry for the good renown of Sir Tristram. Some of King Arthur's knights jousted with knights of Cornwall. Now will we speak, and leave Sir Tristram, Sir Palomides, and Sir Dinadan in prison, and speak we of other knights that sought after Sir Tristram many diverse parts of this land. And some yede into Cornwall, and by adventure Sir Gaheris, nephew unto King Arthur, came unto King Mark, and there he was well received and sat at King Mark's own table and ate of his own mess. Then King Mark asked Sir Gaheris what tidings there were in the realm of Logres. Sir, said Sir Gaheris, the king reigneth as a noble knight. And now but late there was a great justs and tournament as ever I saw any in the realm of Logres, and the most noble knights were at that justs. But there was one knight that did marvellously 3 days, and he bare a black shield, and of all knights that ever I saw he proved the best knight. Then, said King Mark, that was Sir Launcelot, or Sir Palomides the Paynim. Not so, said Sir Gaheris, for both Sir Launcelot and Sir Palomides were on the contrary party against the knight with the black shield. Then was it Sir Tristram, said the king. Yea, said Sir Gaheris. And therewithal the king smote down his head, and in his heart he feared sore that Sir Tristram should get him such worship in the realm of Logres wherethrough that he himself should not be able to withstand him. Thus Sir Gaheris had great cheer with King Mark, and with Queen La Beale Isoud, the which was glad of Sir Gaheris' words, for well she wist by his deeds and manners that it was Sir Tristram. And then the king made a feast royal, and to that feast came Sir Uwaine le Fay de Roy Urien, and some called him Uwaine le Blanchemains. And this Sir Uwaine challenged all the knights of Cornwall. Then was the king wood wroth that he had no knights to answer him. Then Sir Andred, nephew unto King Mark, leapt up and said, I will encounter with Sir Uwaine. Then he yede and armed him and horsed him in the best manner. And there Sir Uwaine met with Sir Andred, and smote him down that he swooned on the earth. Then was King Mark sorry and wroth out of measure that he had no knight to revenge his nephew, Sir Andred. So the king called unto him Sir Dinas, the seneschal, and prayed him for his sake to take upon him to joust with Sir Uwaine. Sir, said Sir Dinas, I am full loath to have ado with any knight of the Round Table. Yet, said the king, for my love take upon thee to joust. So Sir Dinas made him ready, and anon they encountered together with great spears, but Sir Dinas was overthrown, horse and man, a great fall. Who was wroth but King Mark? Alas, he said, have I no knight that will encounter with yonder knight? Sir, said Sir Gaheris, for your sake I will joust. So Sir Gaheris made him ready, and when he was armed he rode into the field. And when Sir Uwaine saw Sir Gaheris' shield he rode to him and said, Sir, ye do not your part. For, sir, the first time ye were made knight of the Round Table ye swear that ye should not have ado with your fellowship wittingly. And pardie, Sir Gaheris, ye knew me well enough by my shield, and so do I know you by your shield, and though ye would break your oath I would not break mine. For there is not one here, nor ye, that shall think I am afeard of you, but I durst right well have ado with you, and yet we be sisters' sons. Then was Sir Gaheris ashamed, and so therewithal every knight went their way, and Sir Uwaine rode into the country. Then King Mark armed him, and took his horse and his spear, with a squire with him. And then he rode afore Sir Uwaine, and suddenly at a gap he ran upon him as he that was not ware of him, and there he smote him almost through the body, and there left him. So within a while there came Sir Kay and found Sir Uwaine, and asked him how he was hurt. I wot not, said Sir Uwaine, why nor wherefore, but by treason I am sure I gat this hurt. For here came a knight suddenly upon me or that I was ware, and suddenly hurt me. Then there was come Sir Andred to seek King Mark. Thou traitor knight, said Sir Kay, and I wist it were thou that thus traitorly hast hurt this noble knight thou shouldst never pass my hands. Sir, said Sir Andred, I did never hurt him, and that I will report me to himself. Fie on you false knight, said Sir Kay, for ye of Cornwall are not worth. So Sir Kay made carry Sir Uwaine to the Abbey of the Black Cross, and there he was healed. And then Sir Gaheris took his leave of King Mark, but or he departed he said, Sir King, ye did a foul shame unto you and your court, when ye banished Sir Tristram out of this country, for ye needed not to have doubted no knight and he had been here. And so he departed. Chapter XXXVII. Of the treason of King Mark, and how Sir Gaheris smote him down and Andred his cousin. Then there came Sir Kay, the seneschal, unto King Mark, and there he had good cheer showing outward. Now, fair lords, said he, will ye prove any adventure in the forest of Morris, in the which I know well is as hard an adventure as I know any. Sir, said Sir Kay, I will prove it. And Sir Gaheris said he would be avist for King Mark was ever full of treason, and therewithal Sir Gaheris departed and rode his way. And by the same way that Sir Kay should ride he laid him down to rest, charging his squire to wait upon Sir Kay. And warn me when he cometh. So within a while Sir Kay came riding that way, and then Sir Gaheris took his horse and met him, and said, Sir Kay, ye are not wise to ride at the request of King Mark, for he dealeth all with treason. Then said Sir Kay, I require you let us prove this adventure. I shall not fail you, said Sir Gaheris. And so they rode that time till a lake that was that time called the Perilous Lake, and there they abode under the shaw of the wood. The meanwhile King Mark within the castle of Tintagel avoided all his barons, and all other save such as were privy with him were avoided out of his chamber. And then he let call his nephew Sir Andred, and bade arm him and horse him lightly. And by that time it was midnight. And so King Mark was armed in black, horse and all, and so at a privy postern they two issued out with their varlets with them, and rode till they came to that lake. Then Sir Kay espied them first, and gat his spear, and proffered to joust. And King Mark rode against him, and smote each other full hard, for the moon shone as the bright day. And there at that just Sir Kay's horse fell down, for his horse was not so big as the king's horse, and Sir Kay's horse bruised him full sore. Then Sir Gaheris was wroth that Sir Kay had a fall. Then he cried, Knight, sit thou fast in thy saddle, for I will revenge my fellow. Then King Mark was afeard of Sir Gaheris, and so with evil will King Mark rode against him, and Sir Gaheris gave him such a stroke that he fell down. So then forthwithal Sir Gaheris ran unto Sir Andred and smote him from his horse quite, that his helm smote in the earth, and nigh had broken his neck. And therewithal Sir Gaheris alighted, and gat up Sir Kay. And then they yode both on foot to them, and bade them yield them, and tell their names out her they should die. Then with great pain Sir Andred spake first, and said, It is King Mark of Cornwall, therefore be ye ware what ye do, and I am Sir Andred, his cousin. Fie on you both, said Sir Gaheris, for a false traitor, and false treason hast thou wrought and he both, under the feigned cheer that ye made us. It were pity, said Sir Gaheris, that thou shouldst live any longer. Save my life, said King Mark, and I will make amends, and consider that I am a king anointed. It were the more shame, said Sir Gaheris, to save thy life, thou art a king anointed with cream, and therefore thou shouldst hold with all men of worship. And therefore thou art worthy to die. With that he lashed at King Mark without saying any more, and covered him with his shield and defended him as he might. And then Sir Kay lashed at Sir Andred, and therewithal King Mark yielded him unto Sir Gaheris. And then he kneeled adown, and made his oath upon the cross of the sword, that never while he lived he would be against errant knights. And also he sware to be good friend unto Sir Tristram if ever he came into Cornwall. By then Sir Andred was on the earth, and Sir Kay would have slain him. Let be, said Sir Gaheris, slay him not I pray you. It were pity, said Sir Kay, that he should live any longer, for this is nigh cousin unto Sir Tristram, and ever he hath been a traitor unto him, and by him he was exiled out of Cornwall, and therefore I will slay him, said Sir Kay. Ye shall not, said Sir Gaheris, sit hen I have given the king his life, I pray you give him his life. And therewithal Sir Kay let him go. And so Sir Kay and Sir Gaheris rode their way unto Dinas, the seneschal, for because they heard say that he loved well Sir Tristram. So they reposed them there, and soon after they rode unto the realm of Logres. And so within a little while they met with Sir Launcelot that always had Dame Bragwaine with him, to that intent he weened to have met the sooner with Sir Tristram. And Sir Launcelot asked what tidings in Cornwall, and whether they heard of Sir Tristram or not. Sir Kay and Sir Gaheris answered and said, that they heard not of him. Then they told Sir Launcelot word by word of their adventure. Then Sir Launcelot smiled and said, Hard it is to take out of the flesh that is bred in the bone, and so made them merry together. Chapter 39. How after that Sir Tristram, Sir Palomides, and Sir Dinadan had been long in prison they were delivered. Now leave we off this tale, and speak we of Sir Dinas that had within the castle a paramour, and she loved another knight better than him. And so when Sir Dinas went out a-hunting she slipped down by a towel, and took with her 2 brachets, and so she yetta to the knight that she loved, and he her again. And when Sir Dinas came home and missed his paramour and his brachets, then was he the more wrother for his brachets than for the lady. So then he rode after the knight that had his paramour, and bade him turn and joust. So Sir Dinas smote him down, that with the fall he brake his leg and his arm. And then his lady and paramour cried Sir Dinas mercy, and said she would love him better than ever she did. Nay, said Sir Dinas, I shall never trust them that once betrayed me, and therefore, as ye have begun, so end, for I will never meddle with you. And so Sir Dinas departed, and took his brachets with him, and so rode to his castle. Now will we turn unto Sir Launcelot, that was right heavy that he could never hear no tidings of Sir Tristram, for all this while he was in prison with Sir Darras, Palomides, and Dinadan. Then Dame Bragwaine took her leave to go into Cornwall, and Sir Launcelot, Sir Kay, and Sir Gaheris rode to seek Sir Tristram in the country of Surlus. Now speaketh this tale of Sir Tristram and of his 2 fellows, for every day Sir Palomides brawled and said language against Sir Tristram. I marvel, said Sir Dinadan, of thee, Sir Palomides, and thou hadst Sir Tristram here thou wouldst do him no harm, for in a wolf and a sheep were together in a prison the wolf would suffer the sheep to be in peace. And wit thou well, said Sir Dinadan, this same is Sir Tristram at a word, and now must thou do thy best with him, and let's see now if ye can skift it with your hands. Then was Sir Palomides abashed and said little. Sir Palomides, then said Sir Tristram, I have heard much of your maugre against me, but I will not meddle with you as at this time by my will, because I dread the lord of this place that hath us in governance. For an I dread him not more than I do thee, soon it should be skift, so they pieced themselves. Right so came in a damosel and said, Knights, be of good cheer, for ye are sure of your lives, and that I heard say my lord, Sir Darras. Then were they glad all three, for daily they weened they should have died. Then soon after this Sir Tristram fell sick that he weened to have died, then Sir Dinadan wept, and so did Sir Palomides under them both making great sorrow. So a damosel came in to them and found them mourning. Then she went unto Sir Darras, and told him how that mighty knight that bare the black shield was likely to die. That shall not be, said Sir Darras, for God defend when knights come to me for succour that I should suffer them to die within my prison. Therefore, said Sir Darras to the damosel, fetch that knight and his fellows afore me. And then anon Sir Darras saw Sir Tristram brought afore him. He said, Sir knight, me repenteth of thy sickness, for thou art called a full noble knight, and so it seemeth by thee. And wit ye well it shall never be said that Sir Darras shall destroy such a noble knight as thou art in prison, howbeit that thou hast slain 3 of my sons whereby I was greatly aggrieved. But now shalt thou go and thy fellows, and your harness and horses have been fair and clean kept, and ye shall go where it liketh you, upon this covenant, that thou, knight, wilt promise me to be good friend to my sons 2 that be now alive. And also that thou tell me thy name. Sir, said he, as for me my name is Sir Tristram de Lyonesse, and in Cornwall was I born, and nephew I am unto King Mark. And as for the death of your sons I might not do withal, for an they had been the next kin that I have I might have done none otherwise. And if I had slain them by treason or treachery I had been worthy to have died. All this I consider, said Sir Darras, that all that ye did was by force of knighthood, and that was the cause I would not put you to death. But sith ye be Sir Tristram, the good knight, I pray you heartily to be my good friend and to my sons. Sir, said Sir Tristram, I promise you by the faith of my body, ever while I live I will do you service, for ye have done to us but as a natural knight ought to do. Then Sir Tristram reposed him there till that he was amended of his sickness. And when he was big and strong they took their leave, and every knight took their horses, and so departed and rode together till they came to a crossway. Now fellows, said Sir Tristram, here will we depart in sundry ways. And because Sir Dinadan had the first adventure of him I will begin. Chapter XL.How Sir Dinadan rescued a lady from Sir Breuse sans Pite, and how Sir Tristram received a shield of Morgan le Fay. So as Sir Dinadan rode by a well he found a lady making great dole. What aileth you? Said Sir Dinadan. Sir knight, said the lady, I am the wofullest lady of the world, for within these 5 days here came a knight called Sir Breuse sans Pite, and he slew mine own brother, and ever since he hath kept me at his own will. And of all men in the world I hate him most. And therefore I require you of knighthood to avenge me, for he will not tarry, but be here anon. Let him come, said Sir Dinadan, and because of honour of all women I will do my part. With this came Sir Breuse, and when he saw a knight with his lady he was wood wroth. And then he said, Sir knight, keep thee from me. So they hurtled together as thunder, and either smote other passing sore, but Sir Dinadan put him through the shoulder a grievous wound, and nor ever Sir Dinadan might turn him Sir Breuse was gone and fled. Then the lady prayed him to bring her to a castle there beside but 4 mile thence, and so Sir Dinadan brought her there, and she was welcome, for the lord of that castle was her uncle, and so Sir Dinadan rode his way upon his adventure. Now turn we this tale unto Sir Tristram, that by adventure he came to a castle to ask lodging, wherein was Queen Morgan le Fay, and so when Sir Tristram was let into that castle he had good cheer all that night. And upon the morn when he would have departed the queen said, Wit ye well ye shall not depart lightly, for ye are here as a prisoner. Jesu defend. Said Sir Tristram, for I was but late a prisoner. Fair knight, said the queen, ye shall abide with me till that I wit what ye are and from whence ye come. And ever the queen would set Sir Tristram on her own side, and her paramour on the other side. And ever Queen Morgan would behold Sir Tristram, and thereat the knight was jealous, and was in will suddenly to have run upon Sir Tristram with a sword, but he left it for shame. Then the queen said to Sir Tristram, Tell me thy name, and I shall suffer you to depart when ye will. Upon that covenant I tell you my name is Sir Tristram de Lyonesse. Ah, said Morgan le Fay, and I had wist that, thou shouldst not have departed so soon as thou shalt. But sit hen, I have made a promise, I will hold it, with that thou wilt promise me to bear upon thee a shield that I shall deliver thee, unto the castle of the hard rock, where King Arthur had cried a great tournament. And there I pray you that ye will be, and to do for me as much deeds of arms as ye may do. For at the castle of maidens, Sir Tristram, ye did marvellous deeds of arms as ever I heard knight do. Madam, said Sir Tristram, let me see the shield that I shall bear. Then the shield was brought forth, and the field was goldish, with a king and a queen therein painted, and a knight standing above them, 1 foot, upon the king's head, and the other upon the queen's. Madam, said Sir Tristram, this is a fair shield and a mighty, but what signifieth this king and this queen, and the knight standing upon both their heads? I shall tell you, said Morgan le Fay, it signifieth King Arthur and Queen Guinevere, and a knight who holdeth them both in bondage and in servage. Who is that knight? Said Sir Tristram. That shall ye not wit as at this time, said the queen. But as the French book saith, Queen Morgan loved Sir Launcelot best, and ever she desired him, and he would never love her nor do nothing at her request, and therefore she held many knights together for to have taken him by strength. And because she deemed that Sir Launcelot loved Queen Guinevere paramour, and she him again, therefore Queen Morgan le Fay ordained that shield to put Sir Launcelot to a rebuke, to that intent that King Arthur might understand the love between them. Then Sir Tristram took that shield and promised her to bear it at the tournament at the castle of the hard rock. But Sir Tristram knew not that that shield was ordained against Sir Launcelot, but afterward he knew it. Chapter 41. How Sir Tristram took with him the shield, and also how he slew the paramour of Morgan le Fay. So then Sir Tristram took his leave of the queen, and took the shield with him. Then came the knight that held Queen Morgan le Fay, his name was Sir Hemison, and he made him ready to follow Sir Tristram. Fair friend, said Morgan, ride not after that knight, for ye shall not win no worship of him. Fie on him, coward, said Sir Hemison, for I wist never good knight come out of Cornwall but if it were Sir Tristram de Lyonesse. What an that be he? Said she. Nay, nay, said he is with La Beale Isaud, and this is but a daffish knight. Alas, my fair friend, ye shall find him the best knight that ever ye met withal, for I know him better than ye do. For your sake, said Sir Hemison, I shall slay him. Ah, fair friend, said the queen, me repenteth that ye will follow that knight, for I fear me sore of your again coming. With this knight rode his wayward wrath, and he rode after Sir Tristram as fast as he had been chased with knights. When Sir Tristram heard a knight come after him so fast he returned about, and saw a knight coming against him. And when he came nigh to Sir Tristram he cried on high, Sir knight, keep thee from me. Then they rushed together as it had been thunder, and Sir Hemison breezed his spear upon Sir Tristram, but his harness was so good that he might not hurt him. And Sir Tristram smote him harder, and bare him through the body, and he fell over his horse's croup. Then Sir Tristram turned to have done more with his sword, but he saw so much blood go from him that him seemed he was likely to die, and so he departed from him and came to a fair manor to an old knight, and there Sir Tristram lodged. Chapter XLII.How Morgan le Fay buried her paramour, and how Sir Tristram praised Sir Launcelot and his kin. Now leave to speak of Sir Tristram, and speak we of the knight that was wounded to the death. Then his varlet alighted, and took off his helm, and then he asked his lord whether there were any life in him. There is in me life, said the knight, but it is but little. And therefore leap thou up behind me when thou hast holpen me up, and hold me fast that I fall not, and bring me to Queen Morgan le Fay. For deep draughts of death draw to my heart that I may not live, for I would fain speak with her or I died, for else my soul will be in great peril and I die. Forthwith, with great pain his varlet brought him to the castle, and there Sir Hemison fell down dead. When Morgan le Fay saw him dead she made great sorrow out of reason. And then she let despoil him unto his shirt, and so she let him put into a tomb. And about the tomb she let write, Here lieth Sir Hemison, slain by the hands of Sir Tristram de Lyonesse. Now turn we unto Sir Tristram, that asked the knight his host if he saw late any knights adventurous. Sir, he said, the last night here lodged with me Hector de Maris and a damosel with him, and that damosel told me that he was one of the best knights of the world. That is not so, said Sir Tristram, for I know 4 better knights of his own blood, and the first is Sir Launcelot du Lake, call him the best knight, and Sir Bors de Ganis, Sir Bleoberis, Sir Blamor de Ganis, and Sir Gaheris. Nay, said his host, Sir Gawain is a better knight than he. That is not so, said Sir Tristram, for I have met with them both, and I felt Sir Gaheris for the better knight, and Sir Lamorak I call him as good as any of them except Sir Launcelot. Why name ye not Sir Tristram? Said his host, for I account him as good as any of them. I know not Sir Tristram, said Tristram. Thus they talked and bourded as long as them list, and then went to rest. And on the morn Sir Tristram departed, and took his leave of his host, and rode toward the Roche d'Or, and none adventure had Sir Tristram but that, and so he rested not till he came to the castle, where he saw 500 tents. Chapter 43. How Sir Tristram at a tournament bare the shield that Morgan le Fay delivered to him. Then the King of Scots and the King of Ireland held against King Arthur's knights, and there began a great medley. So came in Sir Tristram and did marvellous deeds of arms, for there he smote down many knights. And ever he was afore King Arthur with that shield. And when King Arthur saw that shield he marvelled greatly in what intent it was made. But Queen Guinevere deemed as it was, wherefore she was heavy. Then was there a damosel of Queen Morgan in a chamber by King Arthur, and when she heard King Arthur speak of that shield, then she spake openly unto King Arthur. Sir King, wit ye well this shield was ordained for you, to warn you of your shame and dishonour, and that longeth to you and your queen. And then anon that damosel picked her away privily, that no man wist where she was become. Then was King Arthur sad and wroth, and asked from whence came that damosel. There was not one that knew her nor wist where she was become. Then Queen Guinevere called to her Sir Hector de Maris, and there she made her complaint to him, and said, I wot well this shield was made by Morgan le Fay in despite of me and of Sir Launcelot, wherefore I dread me sore lest I should be destroyed. And ever the king beheld Sir Tristram, that did so marvellous deeds of arms that he wondered sore what knight he might be, and well he wist it was not Sir Launcelot. And it was told him that Sir Tristram was in Petit Britain with Isaud-La Blanche Mains, for he deemed, and he had been in the realm of Logris. Sir Launcelot or some of his fellows that were in the quest of Sir Tristram that they should have found him or that time. So King Arthur had marvel what knight he might be. And ever Sir Arthur's eye was on that shield. All that espied the queen, and that made her sore afeard. Then ever Sir Tristram smote down knights wonderly to behold, what upon the right hand and upon the left hand, that unnethe no knight might withstand him. And the King of Scots and the King of Ireland began to withdraw them. When Arthur espied that, he thought that that knight with the strange shield should not escape him. Then he called unto him Sir Uwaine le Blanche Mains, and bade him arm him and make him ready. So anon King Arthur and Sir Uwaine dressed them before Sir Tristram, and required him to tell them where he had that shield. Sir, he said, I had it of Queen Morgan le Fay, sister unto King Arthur. So here endeth this history of this book, for it is the first book of Sir Tristram de Lyonesse and the second book of Sir Tristram followeth. Glossary. Abashed, abased, lowered, abate, depress, calm, abaught, paid for, abrade, started, accompted, counted, accorded, agreed, accordment, agreement, acquit, repay, actually, actively, adoubted, afraid, advision, vision, afeared, afraid. Afterdeal, disadvantage, against, retract, unknown, known, allegement, alleviation, allegiance, alleviation, allow, approve, almories, chests, alter, gen. Pl, of all, amounted, mounted, annealed, anointed, anguishly, in pain, anon, at once, appair, weaken, apparelled, fitted up, appeach, impeach, appealed, challenged, accused, appertices, displays, arroged, enraged. Confused, erased, raised, erase, obliterate, arreared, reared, armavestal, martial, array, plight, state of affairs, arrayed, situated, arson, saddlebow, askance, casually, assoiled, absolved, assotted, infatuated, assummon, summon, astonied. Amazed, stunned, at, of, by, at after, attaint, overcome, ombres, chests, avail, at an advantage, avaled, lowered, avant, boast, aventred, couched, avist, be advised, take thought, avision, vision, avoid, quit, avoided. Got clear off, avow, vow, await of, in watch for, awayward, away, awk, sideways, bachelors, probationers for knighthood bane, bath, barbican, gate tower, barget, little ship, battle, division of an army, body, dirty, beams, trumpets. Be closed, enclosed, become, pp. Befallen, gone to, bedashed, splashed, behests, promises, behight, promised, beholden, beholding, to, obliged to, behote, promised, benome, deprived, taken away, besance, gold coins, beseek, beseech, beseen, appointed, arrayed, beskiffed, shove off. Bested, beset, betaken, entrusted, betaught, entrusted, recommended, betid, happened, betook, committed, entrusted, bevered, quivered, bored, sb. Deck, bobance, boasting, pride, boishy, bush, branch of a tree, boistus, rough, bowl, trunk of a tree, boot, remedy, borrow out, redeem, borrows, pledges, boat, remedy, bound, ready, boarded, jested, boarder, jester, braced, embraced, brachet. Little hound, brow-eyed, quick movement, brast, burst, break, breaths, breathing holes, brief, shorten, brim, fierce, furious, breezed, broke, broached, pierced, broaches, spits, burr, handguard of a spear, burble, bubble, burbling, bubbling. Burgnets, buds, blossoms, bushment, ambush, by and by, immediately, bywaried, expended, bestowed, cannel bone, collar bone, cankered, inveterate, cantel, slice, strip, careful, sorrowful, full of troubles, cast, of bread. Loaves baked at the same time, cast, ref, v. Propose, settle, schedule, note, sear, wax over, embalm, cerule, certes, certainly, chafe, heat, decompose. Chafed, heated, chaflé, platform, scaffold, champagne, open country, chariot, fr charrette, cart, cheer, countenance, entertainment, chiert, dearness, chrism, anointing oil, clatter, talk confusedly, clite, clutched, cleaped, called, clipping. Embracing, cog, small boat, cognizance, badge, mark of distinction, coif, headpiece, comfort, strengthen, help, communal, common, compellished, complete, con, no, be able. Confannelt, be grateful, conserve, preserve, conversant, abiding in, courting, agreement, coronal, circlet, cost, side, costed, kept up with, couched, lay, courage, encourage, courtilage, courtyard, covert, sheltered, covetize, covetousness, coven. Deceit, cream, oil, credence, faith, croup, crupper, courteous, most courteous, daffish, foolish, danger, in, under obligation to, in the power of, dawd, vtr. Revived, ntr dawned, deadly, mortal, human, deal, part, portion, debate, quarrel, strife, debonair, courteous, deceivable, deceitful, defaded, faded, default, fault, defend, forbid, defended. Forbidden, defoiled, trodden down, fouled, deflowered, degree, win, rank, superiority, delibered, determined, deliverly, adroitly, departed, divided, departition, departure, dear, harm, describe, despoiled, stripped, detrenched. Cut to pieces, devised, looked carefully at, devoir, duty, service, did off, doffed, dight, prepared, dindled, trembled, disadventure, misfortune, discover, reveal, disherited, disinherited, disparpled, scattered, dispenses, expenses, dispurpled. Scattered, despoiled, stripped, disdained, sullied, dishonored, disworship, shame, dole, gift of alms, dole, sorrow, domineth, dominates, rules, don, gift, doted, foolish, doubted, redoubtable, drafts, privities, secret interviews, recesses. Drenched, drowned, dress, make ready, dressed up, raised, dretched, troubled in sleep, dretching, being troubled in sleep, dromounds, war vessels, dur, endure, last. Dured. During, duress, bondage, hardship, dwined, dwindled, eased, entertained, eft, after, again, eftures, passages, embattled, ranged for battle, embouched, concealed in the woods, uncle, and poison, poison, emprised, undertook, inbraid, enchafe. Heat. Enchafed, heated, enchieve, achieve, endlong, alongside of, enude, painted, enforce, constrain, engine, device, enow, enough, enquest, enterprise, insured, assured, intermeet, intermetal, errant, wandering, estates, ranks, even hand. At an equality, even long, along, everich, each, every one, fader, vagabond, fair, sb. Ado, commotion, farren, pages, treated, fote, lack, lacked, fealty, oath of fidelity, fear, frighten, feut, trace, track, feuter, set in rest, couch, feutered, set in socket, fiance, affiance, promise, flang, flung. Rushed, flatling, prostrate, fleet, float, phlegmed, put to flight, flittered, fluttered, foiled, defeated, shamed, foined, thrust, foining, thrusting, foins, thrusts, foot-hot, hastily, forbled, spent with bleeding, force, no concern, fordeal. Advantage, fordo, destroy. Fordid, forecast, preconcerted plot, forfared, worsted, forfend, forbid, forfoughten, weary with fighting, forhewn, hewn to pieces, forjusted, tired with jousting, forthinketh, repents, fortuned, happened, forward, vanguard, forwounded. Sorely wounded, free, noble, freshed, froward, away from, gad, wedge or spike of iron, gainest, readiest, gar, cause, gart, compelled, gently, like a gentleman, gerfalcon, a fine hawk, germain, closely allied, jest, deed, story, guisarme, halberd. Battle-axe, glaive, sword, glasting, barking, gladescent, barking, yelping, gobbets, lumps, graved, made ready, degree, superiority, greed, pp. Pleased, content, gresques, steps, grimly, ugly, groveling, on his face, guerdonless, without reward, guise, fashion, habergeon, hauberk with leggings attached, hair, a hair shirt, hail and how, a sailor's cry, halp, helped, housed, embraced. Housing, embracing, handfast, betrothed, handsel, earnest money, hangers, testicles, harbingers, messengers sent to prepare lodgings, harness, armor, heart of grease, fat deer, hauberk, coat of mail, oat, high, noble, hautine, haughty, heavy, sad. Heat, command, hide, skin, hide, hurried, high, on, allowed, higher hand, the uppermost, height, called, hillied, covered, concealed, holden, held, holp, helped, holtz, woods, hof-bone, back part of knee joint, household, to be given the Eucharist. Hoved, hovered, waded about, hurled, dashed, staggered. Hurling, hurdle, dash, incontinent, forthwith, ind, dark blue, in fellowship, join in fellowship, in like, alike, intermit, interpose, japer, jester, japes, jests, jesserount, a short cuirass, keep, sb, care, keep, s. Care, rec, kemps, champions, kind, nature, kindly, natural, knights parters, marshals, know, acknowledge, knowledging, acknowledgement, confession, lane, conceal, languoring, sauntering, lapped, took in her lap, large, generous, largeness. Liberality, Latin, brass, lawned, waste plain, lane, conceal, lazarcot, leper house, learn, teach, leers, cheeks, leaved, leafy, lecher, fornicator, leech, physician, leman, lover, let, cause to, let, hinder, ludist, most ignorant. Liquors lecherous, leaf, dear, leafer, more gladly, leave, believe, limb meal, limb from limb, list, desire, pleasure, lithe, joint, longing unto, belonging to, long on, upon, because of, loose, praise, lotless, without a share, love day, day for. Settling disputes, loving, praising, loons, leashes, strings, lusk, lubber, lusts, inclinations, maims, wounds, makeless, matchless, makers, authors, poets, moss ease, discomfort, mal engine, evil design, malfortune, ill luck, mishap, marches. Borders, mass penny, offering at mass for the dead, mache old, machicolated, with holes for defense, maugre, sb. Despite, measle, disease, medled, mingled, medley, melee, general encounter, meany, retinue, mickle, much, minever, ermine, mischieved, hurt, mischievous, painful, miscorfort, discomfort, miscreature, unbeliever, misse, revile. Mis said, mo, more and less, rich and poor, motes, notes on a horn, mount lance, amount of, extent, much, great, naked, unarmed, namely, especially, nor, near hand, nearly. Near, needly, needs, on your own compulsion, nesh, soft, tender, nigh hand, nearly, nil, will not, nilt, will not, nis, any is not, nist, any wist, knew not, noblesse, nobleness, nobly, nobility, splendor, noised, reported, nold, would not. Nozzling, on his nose, not for then, nevertheless, notorily, notoriously, noyous, hurtful, obeisance, obedience, or, before, orgule, haughtiness, orgulist, haughtiest, orgulite, pride, arrogance, orgulous, proud, other, or, ouchs, jewels, ought. Owned, outcept, except, out her, or, outtaken, except, over evening, last night, overget, overtake, overhilled, covered, overled, domineered over, overlong, the length of, overslip, pass, overthwart, adj. Cross, overthwart, sb. Mischance, overthwart and endlong, by the breadth and length, painture, painting, patrels, breastplate of a horse, paltocks, short coats, parage, descent, parel, like, passing, surpassingly, painim, pagan, pencel, pennon, perclass, partition. Purdy, pardieu, perigot, falcon, perish, destroy, perone, tombstone, pite, pitched, pike, steal away, piked, stole, pillars, plunderers, pilling, plundering, pleasance, pleasure, plenner, complete, plump, sb. Cluster, pointling, aiming, pont, bridge, port, gate, posseed, possessed, potestate, governor, predecessors, press, throng, pretendeth, belongs to, pricker, hard rider, pricking, spurring, prime, am. Prize, capture, puissance, power, purfle, trimming, purfled, embroidered, purvey, provide, quarrels, arrowheads, questing, barking, quick, alive, quit, repaid. Acquitted, behaved, raced, raised, tore, rack, of bulls, herd, reigns, a town in Brittany famous for its cloth, ramping, raging, range, rank, station, ransacked, searched, rashid, fell headlong, rashing, rushing, raising, rushing, razor, rondon. Impetuosity, rear, raise, wreck hate, note of recall, recomforted, comforted, cheered, recounter, rencontre, encounter, recover, rescue, read, advise. SB, counsel, redounded, glanced back, religion, religious order, ranai, deny, report, refer, resemblant. Semblance, retrade, drew back, rightwise, rightly, rivage, shore, roamed, roared, wrote, practiced, rove, cleft, rouncepic, a branch, sacring, consecrating, sad, serious, sadly, heartily, earnestly, sal, room, samite. Silk stuff with gold or silver threads, sangreal, holy grail, sarps, girdles, saw, proverb, scathes, harms, hurts, ecripture, writing, search, probe wounds, sealer, canopy, semblable, like, semblant, semblance, sendal, fine cloth, sennight, weak. Servage, slavery, sewer, officer who sat on dishes and tasted them, shaftman, handbreadth, shaw, thicket, sheaf, thrust, sheer Thursday, Thursday in Holy Week, shend, harm, shinship, disgrace, shent, undone, blamed, shower, attack, shrew, rascal. Shrewd, knavish, sib, akin to, sidling, sideways, siege, seat, signified, likened, sicker, sure, sickerness, assurance, sith, since, sithen, afterwards, since, skift, changed, slade, valley, slake, glen, soil, to go to. Hunting term for taking the water, sans, messages, sort, company, spurred, bolted, spear, ask, inquire, spurred, asked, spurhawk, sparrowhawk, sprent, sprinkled, stale, station, stark, thoroughly, stead, place, sturt, started, rose quickly, Stephen. Appointment. Stephen Sayre. Appointment made, Stephen, voice, sty, path, stilly, silently, stint, fixed revenue, stonied, astonished. Became confused, stour, battle, strain, race, descent, straight, narrow, straked, blew a horn, sue, pursue, sued, pursued, singles, saddle girths, swung, swung, sweven, dream, swuff, sound of wind, talent, desire, talents, taxes, tallies, taxes. Tamed, crushed, tatches, qualities, teen, sorrow, term, period of time, thilk, that same, though, then, thrang, pushed, thralled, pushed, till, to brast, burst, to fore, before, to mourn, tomorrow, took, gave, to rove, broke up, to shivered. Broken to pieces, traced, advanced and retreated, trains, devices, wiles, trossing, pressing forward, traverse, met at, came across, traverse, slantwise, traversed, moved sideways, tray, grief, treatise, treaty, tree, timber, trenchant, cutting. Sharp, trace, hunting term, truage, tribute, trust, pact, ubly, wafer, host, umbicast, cast about, umberear, the part of the helmet which shaded the eyes, umber, shade, unavised, thoughtlessly, uncouth, strange, undurn, a.m. Ungoodly, rudely, unhappy, unlucky, unhilled, uncovered, unwrithed, scarcely, unsecure, unstable, unwimpled, uncovered, unrast, untwisted, unbound, upright, flat on the back, upside down, usage, udas, octave of a festival, utterance. Uttermost, varlet, servant, venery, hunting, ven ales, breathing holes, villain, man of low birth, visors, the perforated parts of helmets, voided, slipped away from, wagging, shaking, weighted, watched, weights, watches, wallop, gallop, wanhope. Despair, wap, ripple, wear, aware, warison, reward, warn, forbid, refuse, weeds, garments, weltered, rolled about, wend, thought, wr wolf, a man turned into a wolf by magic, where, whereas, wide where, over wide space, wield, possess. Have power over, wield himself, come to himself, white, brave, strong, whitely, swiftly, wildsome, desolate, wimpled, with the head covered, win, make way, white, v. Blame, within forth, on the inside, without forth, on the outside, wittiest, cleverest, wittily, cleverly, witting, knowledge, wold or nold, would or would not, wonder, adj, wondrous, wonder, adv.